Chapter 10:18. The infernal queen, dead concubine, gave the order. Tens of thousands of dark vile dragons flew out of the empire of darkness and spread out in all directions. However, this time, the dark vile dragon's mission was no longer to attack and kill. Instead, it was to deliver the Doomsday Declaration. It was clearly written that the original Doomsday War was only to destroy the military power of the Council of Light. However, because Yang Dingtian obtained the Naga royalty sword soul by chance and destroyed the Legion of Doom, he angered the Temple of Annihilation. The Temple of Annihilation would let the entire human nation know of its anger. The Temple of Annihilation would command billions of undead to enter the human nation and destroy every life there. This time, the Temple of Annihilation would bring about the end of the world. The dark vile dragons quickly delivered the Doomsday Declaration to every city. Instantly, the cities that had just calmed down were plunged into complete chaos again. Of course, at this time, no one would stupidly gather and accuse Yang Dingtian of bringing war and destruction to the human nation. Previously, the evil ways of leading the way were slapped in the face. At first, it was the evil ways. Countless dark vile dragons killed the most fanatical of leading the way. Then, it was Yang Dingtian's turn. His Naga royalty sword's soul wiped out the Legion of Doom completely. Many people saw the Doomsday Declaration, but almost everyone only had one thought in their mind. They hoped that Yang Dingtian could create a miracle this time and wipe out the undead army completely. This Temple of Annihilation was simply a lunatic. Selling oneself to them would not work. Instantly, the whole world's attention was focused on Cloud Sky City again. That place would become the first battlefield of the Second Doomsday War. Moreover, the Chaos Times published all the information about the underground ghost city and the undead army. In fact, he even drew a huge portrait of him. In the portrait, the entire continent was shrouded in darkness as if it was hell. In the darkness, countless pale dots were the undead army. Of course, the most important thing was that the Chaos Times had completely repeated Yang Dingtian's original words at the end. In the Second Doomsday War, the Council of Light would definitely emerge victorious. This sentence was quite simple. There were no bold words or fancy words. But after reading this, many people inexplicably calmed down, including those who were hostile to Yang Dingtian. Because Yang Dingtian's words did have the power to make people trust him. When the Queen Devil Queen heard Yang Dingtian's words, she disdainfully said, "Yang Dingtian thinks too highly of his mystic fire lightning. Very soon, he will be able to feel the true destructive power of the undead army." The evil martial artists present were also completely dismissive of Yang Dingtian's words. The undead would only be harmed by lightning energy, and lightning energy was the most mysterious power in the world. Otherwise, it would not be regarded as the symbol of the hidden sect's successor. Only Prince Li Ming felt a wave of helplessness. Of course, it was not that he felt that Yang Dingtian could destroy the undead army. He also felt that Yang Dingtian's words were just to boost morale. The key was that he felt that the so-called Second Doomsday War was completely unnecessary. Now, the evil ways had dozens of saint-level powerhouses and hundreds of half-saint-level powerhouses. They could completely destroy the Council of Light in terms of martial arts. Without the Council of Light, the human countries would be completely scattered. Then, let the undead kill 1 billion people to fulfill the contract with the Underworld Empire. Of course, the most important thing was to capture Yang Dingtian again and let the Demon King possess him. Possess Yang Dingtian, mate with Naga, and become a demigod. This was the most important thing. The so-called Doomsday War was not worth mentioning at all. It was just a game. How could the Queen Devil Queen not differentiate between the priorities? In Prince Li Ming's opinion, the Queen Devil Queen's insistence on starting the Second Doomsday War was completely swayed by her emotions. This woman was really too immature. And the key was that the entire evil martial artist group had the same thoughts as the Queen Devil Queen. They had to win the Doomsday War and seize the entire human countries. This way, a few thousand evil martial artists could have a large territory, power, beauties, and wealth. Prince Li Ming realized that even a wise person like him had become isolated in the evil martial artist group. It was a pity that Wu Yuming was not here. Otherwise, he would definitely understand. Of course, it was a pity that Wu Yuming had thought it through very clearly, so she perished together with the evil martial artist. Finally, it was night time. The Devil Queen's dead concubine gave the order. Undead army, destroy Cloud Sky City. Instantly, countless undead emerged from the underground ghost city. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. In the end, the entire undead army was densely packed like a tide. Like a vast ocean, they filled the ground thousands of miles below. The Devil Queen flapped her huge wings and shouted, "Go, devour all life. All the living beings in the human countries are your feast. Turn the entire human race into your own kind. Turn the entire human countries into your underworld empire." Instantly, hundreds of millions of undead turned into boundless light and surged in the direction of Cloud Sky City in the south. And the ground that the countless undead passed through was all rotten into dark mud. Whoosh, 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 the hundreds of millions of undead army moved extremely quickly. They were completely floating above the ground without any sound. But wherever they passed, the sky instantly turned hazy, and the ground instantly turned into the netherworld. If someone were to see this scene, they would definitely be driven crazy and scared silly. Because the shock of this scene was much more shocking than the Legion of Doom. Prince Li Ming formally requested an audience with the Devil Queen and knelt down on one knee. The Devil Queen was surprised because Li Ming rarely had such a formal attitude. "Your Majesty Devil Queen, the destruction of Cloud Sky City is imminent. May I ask what your next plan is, Your Majesty Devil Queen?" Li Ming asked. The Devil Queen said, "Within an hour, kill all living beings in Cloud Sky City. Then, the undead army will return to the ghost city. Shura's army will build the underground ghost city directly under Cloud Sky City. Then, with the underground ghost city of Cloud Sky City as a base, we will destroy Qin City, Shijing City, and Iron Furnace City." The Devil Queen is wise. Prince Li Ming said, "After killing all the people in the northwest mainland, Yangding Tian will suffer a fatal blow. Then, we will directly destroy and disintegrate the martial power of the Council of Light. We will kill all the higher-ups of the Council of Light in Yangding Tian. At that time, even if Yangding Tian has an iron-like willpower, he will collapse. Finally, we will send dozens of saint-level experts to capture Yangding Tian's wife and children. We will force Yangding Tian to surrender and be possessed by His Majesty Demon King." The Devil Queen said, "What if he doesn't agree?" Prince Li Ming said, "Let the evil spirit warriors, enemies of Yangding Tian, publicly rape each of his wives and dismember each of his children. This way, Yangding Tian would definitely surrender without putting up a fight. Because in his heart, his family is more important than the chaotic world. He has always admitted this." The Devil Queen said, "What you mean is that there is no need for the so-called second doomsday battle at all. I only need to borrow dozens of saint-level Shura. Is that enough?" Prince Li Ming kowtowed and said, "Your subject does not dare. I think that the Devil Queen's decision to win the doomsday battle is wise. Because only this way can the humans in the human countries be afraid and completely submit to us. We can also completely destroy Yang Dingtian's willpower. This person is hypocritical and kind. When he sees countless people die, he will definitely be in pain. If we don't destroy his willpower, he will definitely not surrender and willingly be possessed by the Demon King." The Devil Queen said indifferently, "I know your plan, which is to gradually destroy Yang Dingtian's willpower. For this, you can do anything. However, right now, I have the final say in the Temple of Annihilation. If you want to take power, wait for me to fail." Prince Li Ming kowtowed again and said, "Your subject does not dare. Your Majesty Devil Queen will definitely not fail." The Devil Queen smiled coldly and ignored him. The undead army flew quickly. Every hour, they reached nearly 2,000 kilometers. At this time, on the top of Cloud Sky City's mountain, Yang Dingtian, Naru, and the others stood there and looked toward the northeast. In the darkness, nothing could be seen, because the undead army's surroundings were completely shrouded in darkness. However, They could clearly feel that an incomparably huge dark power was quickly enveloping them. In fact, everyone could clearly feel that the surrounding temperature was getting lower and lower. The stars in the sky were gradually shrouded by the dark aura. Then, suddenly, at a certain moment, a green light suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. "It's coming!" Everyone trembled and then flew up into the sky. Suddenly, everyone felt suffocated. It's coming, although they had expected that this scene would be shocking. But when it really arrived, the shocking feeling still penetrated deep into their bones, making their bodies lose their temperature. The ground that spanned thousands of miles was all covered in green light. The undead army of hundreds of millions was really like an ocean. This scene was far more shocking than the tens of millions of world extermination army. "It's coming, let's go back." Yang Ding Tian. Whoosh 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 whoosh. Then, everyone would go to Cloud Sky City. "The undead army is attacking, everyone get ready." Swish, swish, swish. Suddenly, everyone on the city wall stood up neatly. In fact, they had just received the order to stand here, motionless. Every soldier was covered in a very special soft armor from head to toe, without an inch of skin exposed. Even the weapons in everyone's hands were extremely dry wood. In short, there was not a bit of metal on their bodies. Many soldiers were puzzled. How could they fight when they were dressed like this and held wooden swords and spears? But the first rule of the Council of Light Corps was to obey orders and not ask why. Yang Dingtian felt nervous and said to the warlock leader beside him, "Is everything ready?" The warlock leader said, "Within 300 miles of Great Cloud Sky City, everything has been covered. There will be no fish that will escape the net." Yang Dingtian glanced at the warlock leader, because the undead army had not arrived. But the warlock organization and the secret factory did not want to stop. Therefore, even though they had built many times more lightning towers and crystal power units than the original plan. But in order to be completely prepared, in the next 1 or 2 months, the secret factory continued to produce many crystal dongli units and lightning towers. The reason was that these lightning towers would be of great use in the future. As for the crystal power units, they could be distributed to other cities, especially to the secret factory. The power units for production and construction would definitely not be wasted. Therefore, Yang Dingtian waved his pen and countless power crystals entered the war preparations. Therefore, Song Lihua couldn't take it anymore. She flew from Zhongjing to warn Yang Dingtian that if this continued, the power crystal distribution plan for the next few years would be completely messed up. Yang Dingtian was scolded by Song Lihua for an hour, while Qin Huayu was trembling in fear outside for an hour. He was completely henpecked. Even if he had 10 times the courage, he would not dare to refute Song Lihua. The result of Yang Dingtian being scolded was that the area hundreds of miles around Cloud Sky City was covered by shocking lightning. Yang Dingtian did not even dare to look at the final total power of the crystal power units. Because at first glance, he felt that this was really a huge waste. Even if it was reduced to 1/10, it was enough to wipe out the evil spirit army. However, Yang Dingtian thought that if the evil ways discovered the target and immediately fled, wouldn't that be bad? In order to prevent the undead from escaping, Yang Dingtian gritted his teeth and approved an astronomical number of materials to expand the original lightning tower and the crystal power units by more than 10 times. 2 hours later, Cloud Sky City was once again surrounded and turned into an incomparably fragile island. Hundreds of millions of undead creatures surrounded the entire Cloud Sky City so tightly that not even a drop of water could pass through. The entire area of more than 100 miles around Cloud Sky City was filled with undead. The Queen Devil Queen once again stood on her golden throne and said coldly, "Yang Ding, I told you. The previous victory was not a good thing for you, but an even greater disaster. You forced me to play an even bigger card." Yang Dingtian did not respond. The Queen Devil Queen continued, "There are 100 million undead army here, and there are still billions in the underworld empire. They are continuously entering the human countries. Can your Naga royalty sword spirit destroy them? How many can your mystic fire lightning kill?" Yang Dingtian still did not respond. The Queen Devil Queen sneered and said, "Yang Ding, you are not a savior at all. You can't save anyone. The end of the human countries is here. All your subordinates and subjects will die. Destroy Cloud Sky City and kill everything. End the battle in an hour. The Devil Queen ordered the death of her concubine. Immediately, hundreds of millions of undead rushed toward Cloud Sky City like a tide. At the same time, countless crystal power units began to operate, and countless lightning towers began to condense. This should be one of the most powerful energies in history. Chapter 10:19. The Devil Queen had passed away. No one from the evil Tao would ever forget this scene. When countless undead were about to drown the entire Cloud Sky City. Suddenly, a loud sound came from Cloud Sky City. Then, an incomparably bright light instantly tore through the entire dark sky. Then, countless rays of light suddenly lit up. In an instant, the light turned the entire night into day. It was even brighter than day, so bright that it almost blinded many people's eyes. At the same time, the entire Cloud Sky City seemed to be completely lit up. The huge Cloud Sky City wall and the tall mountains on both sides instantly became transparent. Shocking lightning suddenly burst out from the sky above Cloud Sky City. Twisted flashes, straight lightning, and ball-shaped lightning appeared like a dense net of lightning. In short, countless huge lightning bolts burst out crazily. It became an earth-shattering power. Especially the entire city wall, which suddenly lit up with a 1,000-meter-tall lightning wall. This scene was simply too magnificent. Not only were the people of Evil Ways stunned, but the people of Cloud Sky City were also completely stunned. Especially those warlocks, when they saw that the things they produced were so terrifying and gorgeous. So when countless lightning bolts flashed, their bodies trembled. They even wanted to rush up and let these lightning bolts turn them into ashes because that would be more enjoyable. After a flash of light, Yi Zichen's eyes lit up. The entire sky once again became completely dark. At the same time, the countless undead around the city wall instantly turned into ashes. They disappeared directly. All the undead instinctively stopped all their actions and stood there in a daze. As for the infernal queen dead concubine, she was completely dumbfounded. For a moment, she couldn't even react. Was that scene just now real? Or was it just a dream? Because at this moment, the entire world was completely dark, as if that fatal light just now was a dream. After coming back to her senses, Queen Devil Queen confirmed that everything just now was indeed real. Because countless undead had disappeared. Then what kind of power was this? Lightning energy was the most strange and unpredictable energy in the chaotic world. It was impossible to control it. Currently, in the entire world, only Yang Dingtian and the Devil Empress Undead Ji possessed the thunder attribute energy. Then, was it the power of the fusion of Yang Dingtian's mystic flame lightning and the Naga royalty sword soul? If that was the case, it would indeed be incomparably shocking. However, it was only once, because even if he used the profound gathering pill, it would still take a full 15 minutes to completely recover his profound energy. Queen Devil Queen had found the reason for herself. Then he ordered loudly, "This is the power of Yang Dingtian's mystic fire lightning and the Naga sword spirit. This is the only time. Charge again and annihilate Cloud Heaven City." Immediately, all of the undead began to shriek. Then, following the orders of the Shura Lord and the Undead Lord, countless undead madly charged forward. Then, an even more magnificent scene appeared. Swish, 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 swish. Boundless lightning instantly filled the entire world. If one were to say that the lightning attack just now was just a fleeting moment, then at this moment, it was a complete nightmare. The lightning attack just now was just a jumping note. The lightning attack at this moment was completely a magnificent sonata, a long symphony. Countless lightning bolts, like the most glorious movement, played between heaven and earth. It was really countless lightning bolts. From the east of Cloud Heaven City to the west of Cloud Heaven City, there was a total of 700 miles. From the north of Cloud Heaven City to the south of Cloud Heaven City, there was a total of 500 miles. All was filled with lightning. Countless lightning bolts crazily streaked across the night sky. In the entire sky, it played the song of death. Every part of the air, every part of the ground, was struck by the crazy lightning. The entire world was completely lit up to the extreme. Even from 1,000 miles away, one could see the bright sky here. The entire world was completely shrouded in a magnificent massacre. In this deadly light, all of the undead had disappeared. It didn't mean that these undead were all killed in an instant. It wasn't like that. It was because the light of the lightning was too bright. So much so that it covered the green bodies of the undead. Even the Queen Devil Queen, who was floating in the sky, couldn't see any undead army at all. She didn't know how many casualties there were. Her train of thought even paused at this moment, because the lightning that spanned hundreds of miles densely covered every inch of the sky. How did this happen? Whether it was Yang Dingtian or the Queen Devil Queen, they could all strike out mystic fire lightning that was 1,000 miles long. However, it was only 1,000 miles long. The thickest part was a few hundred meters long, and the thinnest part was only the size of a strand of hair. And the lightning in front of her spanned hundreds of miles and was completely densely covered. This was many times stronger than Yang Dingtian's mystic fire lightning and her own mystic fire lightning. This was simply not a power that could be achieved by human strength. How did Yang Dingtian do it? Even the Queen Devil Queen couldn't think about this question. She had a sense of suffocation and even a sense of destiny. In the first Doomsday battle, Yang Dingtian returned as the king and used the Naga royalty sword Soul to wipe out the Legion of Doom. This in itself had a sense of destiny, a feeling that Yang Dingtian was invincible. Then in the second Doomsday battle, hundreds of millions of undead were mobilized. Logically speaking, Yang Dingtian shouldn't have the slightest ability to fight back. Who knew that the entire scene was even more magnificent than the first Doomsday battle? Other than the Queen Devil Queen, the rest, whether it was Prince Li Ming, Princess Mu Dan, or all the evil spirit warriors. At this moment, they were all completely shocked and terrified. Their brains also instantly lost the ability to think. How did Yang Dingtian do this? How could he control this most mysterious power, a power that could completely destroy the heavens and the earth? Everyone had seen the shocking lightning before. Every time dark clouds covered the sky, it would be accompanied by lightning that was tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of meters long. However, everyone only had fear and the unknown towards that energy. It was impossible to grasp or control it. And Yang Dingtian in front of them had completely grasped and controlled this shocking energy. In an instant, countless evil spirit warriors once again felt a sense of powerlessness and destiny. Perhaps Yang Dingtian was really invincible. Perhaps Yang Dingtian was really the son of destiny. Evil ways were simply no match for him. All the evil spirit warriors were in despair. The only exception was, of course, the Shura vulture. When the vulture saw this scene, her entire body was heating up. She was even a little moved, and the space between her legs was a little moist. Because this was a gorgeous scene created by Yang Dingtian. There was almost no woman who could resist gorgeous things, and this was even more true for the vain spirit vulture. Moreover, she had even imagined that since Yang Dingtian could create lightning that was hundreds of miles long to kill the undead, in that case, he could also create lightning that was tens of thousands of meters high and turn all the evil spirit warriors into ashes. The reason why he did not do so was definitely because she was by the Devil Queen's side and was afraid of hurting her. Thinking of this, the vanity in Vulture's heart instantly exploded to the extreme. She even wished she could rush into Cloud Sky City and throw herself into his arms at the first possible moment. But she did not dare. If she did so, the Devil Queen would definitely kill her immediately. Disgusting evil spirits, disgusting evil ways. If not for the evil spirit energy, my husband Yang Dingtian would have already turned you into ashes and shattered your bones. Although the Devil Queen could not see the casualties of the undead army, the evil spirit warriors knew that the evil spirit warriors would definitely die soon. But she knew that the countless undead army would definitely be dying quickly because lightning energy was the natural enemy of the undead. As long as there was enough energy, they would definitely die upon contact. Immediately, the Devil Queen woke up and said, "Vulture, immediately revive the undead." Vulture was intoxicated by the incomparable pleasure. When she heard the undead concubine's words, her delicate body trembled, and then she said, "Yes." Immediately after, she began to revive the undead. She made a decision in her heart that she would definitely choose the undead with very low energy levels to revive. In the end, she realized that she could not revive them at all. This Legion of Doom was smashed to pieces, but the energy was still different. Once the undead were hit by lightning, they would completely turn into ashes. There was no time to revive them. And even if they were revived, it would be meaningless because the deadly lightning was playing crazily. Just as they were revived, they would instantly turn into ashes. This crazy song of lightning was really, really long. It actually played crazily for a full 15 minutes. As a result, the evil spirit warriors, including the Devil Queen, were temporarily blinded. Even if they closed their eyes directly, they could still feel the fatal brilliance. After a full 15 minutes, this earth-shattering lightning was finally over. The entire sky, the entire world, completely darkened again. Cloud Sky City was still standing tall. Outside Cloud Sky City, the undead army, which was originally like a vast ocean, had been completely annihilated and disappeared without a trace. However, they did not completely disappear. There were still hundreds of them, all of them flickering with light and shadow. These were all saint-level and half-saint-level undead monarchs, undead overlords, Shura monarchs, and Shura overlords. Speaking of Asuras, originally, they were not that afraid of lightning energy. However, in order to enter the nether plane to avoid the pursuit of the Naga, they had all committed suicide. At this moment, they were not only Shura, but they were also undead. Therefore, lightning was still fatal to them. More than 10,000 years ago, facing the pursuit of the Naga, the Shura were not completely wiped out. And this time, the remaining hundreds of undead Shura above half-saint level were still trembling in place. Under the crazy lightning attack just now, although they did not turn into ashes, they had lost control of their bodies. Prince Li Ming was the first to wake up and said, "Your Majesty Devil Queen, Yang Dingtian's lightning is ineffective against half-saint level undead and Shura. You can order the half-saint level and saint level undead to retreat immediately. Or you can charge in and kill everyone." Chapter 1020. Hearing Prince Li Ming's words, the Devil Queen instantly came to her senses. Seeing the hundreds of undead Shura above the half-saint level that had survived, these were the essence of the undead army. The countless undead that had turned into ashes were not worth mentioning at all. With this group of undead Shura above the half-saint level, they could still wipe out Cloud Sky City, but the scene might be much uglier. Moreover, in fact, they had already followed Prince Li Ming's plan to use the undead Shura above the half-saint level to wipe out the high-level group of the Council of Light. But at this moment, under the huge blow in front of her, the Devil Queen couldn't care so much. Suddenly, her face became distorted, and she said sternly, "Yes, kill them all. All undead monarchs, undead lords. Shura monarchs, Shura lords, rush in and kill them all." With the Devil Queen's order, the last few hundred undead Shura above the half-saint level stopped trembling and trembling. Then, they adjusted their energy bodies and rushed into Cloud Sky City ferociously. Their goal was to slaughter all the high-level energy creatures in Cloud Sky City. However, at this moment, there was a loud explosion in the entire Cloud Sky City. The batch of super high-power crystal power units that had never been activated, as well as countless medium-sized crystal power units, were all operating. Then, the few towers in Cloud Sky City that had never been activated suddenly condensed. It was no longer fine lightning that filled the sky, but focused lightning. Hundreds of thick lightning bolts that were hundreds of miles long, crisscrossed and struck the ground. Swish, 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 swish. They struck crazily without stopping for a moment. Almost every bolt was equivalent to Yang Dingtian's mystic fire lightning. Although the lightning just now was gorgeous and covered hundreds of miles of the sky. But the power was not extremely high, so it couldn't kill the undead above the half-saint level. Now, all the crystal power units, the super giant power units, and the largest wireless lightning tower were activated together. Although the area covered by the lightning was much smaller, the power was much, much higher. On average, the lethality of each bolt of lightning had increased by many times. Therefore, even the Saint-level and Saint-level undead Shura couldn't resist it. If one were to describe it in terms of cannons, they would have been shooting all over the sky, using scatter bullets and exploding bullets. Now, it was a targeted killing with live ammunition. Immediately, Prince Li Ming and Queen Devil Queen looked on in horror. One by one, the half-step Saint Shura and the undead were instantly annihilated. However, the Saint-level undead Shura was incomparably tenacious. After being hit, it only trembled in place and lost the ability to move, but it still didn't turn into ashes. But then, dozens of lightning bolts suddenly gathered together and struck down. In an instant, the Saint-level undead and Shura were turned into ashes one after another, disappearing before the eyes of the Queen Devil Queen and the evil warriors. Queen Devil Queen stared blankly at this scene, then let out a miserable cry. No! She spat out a mouthful of blood, then immediately fell backward and fainted. At the same time, the Saint-level and half-step Saint experts in Cloud Sky City shot out like lightning. Prince Li Ming didn't immediately help the Queen Devil Queen. Instead, he used his fastest speed to place his sword on the neck of the Shura vulture, who was about to escape. On the side of the Council of Light, the half-step Saints and Saint-level experts captured the evil warriors as fast as lightning. The two Saint-level experts, Neru and the Mermaid Queen, directly rushed towards Princess Mu Dan, wanting to capture her. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to capture Princess Mu Dan and even Queen Devil Queen. However, Princess Peony's beautiful body suddenly turned into ashes and scattered smoke. She directly turned into an energy enveloped by an evil spirit and flew away like a meteor. Her speed was so fast that it was impossible to catch up. Of course, it was useless even if they caught up. She had already abandoned her physical body and turned into energy. The Queen Devil Queen's magic staff suddenly flew out, grabbed the Devil Queen's body, and flew away like lightning. Prince Li Ming gritted his teeth. In an instant, his body exploded into pieces and turned into a ball of evil spirit energy. He still placed his sword on the Shura vulture's neck and fled as fast as he could. The remaining evil warriors all used the Rubik's Cube. Bang, 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 bang. Countless evil warriors began to self-destruct, turning into energy and fleeing frantically. However, some still didn't have the chance and were directly captured. Moreover, after self-destructing, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade evil warriors' soul power was quickly exhausted even under the protection of the evil spirit. Therefore, there were many evil spirit martial artists who escaped, but there were also many evil spirit martial artists who were captured. This time, Yang Dingtian's Council of Light had truly obtained a great victory. Then, the first thing he did was to lock these evil spirit warriors into an incomparably huge crystal energy array. Even a Saint-level expert would find it difficult to escape from these energy arrays, let alone these 3rd and 4th grade evil warriors. Most of those who were captured were level 3, 4, or 5 evil martial artists. There was only one 2nd grade evil warrior, and it was the unlucky Joyous Palace's young master, Gudu Wuhuan. Crown Prince Li Ming led the majority of the evil spirit martial artists and fled in panic. In one breath, they fled directly to the sky above the underground ghost city before stopping and gradually recovering their bodies. Then, the entire evil spirit army's morale was at an all-time low. No one was angry at all. The Devil Queen's deceased concubine slowly woke up. Actually, she wouldn't be injured at all because she had the primordial evil spirit in her body. However, the mental and psychological blow was something that no evil spirit could make up for. Her beautiful face was still as pale as ever. She whispered, "Li Ming, was the vulture snatched away?" Li Ming said, "No, I took her hostage immediately." "That's good." The Queen Devil Queen sighed and said, "She still has great use, great use. She is even the key to His Majesty the Demon King's breakthrough to demigod." Prince Li Ming trembled. He really didn't know about this. Then, the Queen Devil Queen looked at the pyramid below. After the Shura vulture left, the undead naturally stopped teleporting over. Previously, the Queen Devil Queen looked at the pyramid below and the underground ghost city. They were all magnificent, and she couldn't get enough of them. But now, looking at the pyramid and the underground ghost city below, she only felt incomparable disgust. These two things seemed to be mocking her all the time. Twice, a total of 2 times. In the first Doomsday War, she was full of confidence. She even played games with the Council of Light at the beginning. It was like a cat that caught a mouse and didn't bite it to death immediately. It had to play with it for a while before killing it. In the end, Yang Dingtian's gaze returned and used the Naga royalty sword Soul to wipe out the Legion of Doom completely. This caused her to suffer a huge blow. Therefore, she willfully launched the Second Doomsday War, directly breaking the original strategy and using the undead army in advance. In fact, the Ghost Emperor Wenyan shouldn't have agreed to her request. However, because of his feelings for her, in order to vent her anger, the Ghost Emperor Wenyan agreed. Therefore, she was full of ambition again to wash away the shame. Moreover, she was also completely confident of winning. The heroism before the war was still fresh in her memory. First, it was the 100 million undead army, and then there was an endless stream of undead army. She would definitely win, and her undead army would definitely wipe out the human countries. She had no doubt about this. Therefore, before the war, she made a declaration of doomsday to the entire human countries. Billions of undead army would definitely cover the entire human countries. She would build ghost cities everywhere. She had even thought about how to cross the sea. She would use her shocking energy to create an undead dragon. She could allow Saint-level Shura and half-Saint-level Shura to ride this undead dragon across the vast sea. Then she would build underground ghost cities on other continents. Even though these undead dragons would never return and would be completely reduced to ashes at dawn, she didn't care. Cloud Sky City was only the first battle. She had already said that within an hour, the entire Cloud Sky City would be wiped out. And the result? After a quarter of an hour, her undead army was completely wiped out. How did Yang Dingtian do it? How did he manage to control such a shocking amount of lightning energy? This was something that the Devil Queen didn't want to think about at all. In fact, she didn't even want to think about anything now. She had already suffered the greatest blow in her life. She only wanted the Demon King Wenyan to return quickly, and then she could put everything down. Is there any news about His Majesty the Demon King? The Devil Queen asked. Prince Li Ming shook his head and said, no. The Devil Queen closed her beautiful eyes and sighed. Li Ming, the evil energy can change a person's nature, but it can't change a person's wisdom. I'm not suitable to be a leader. More than 200 years ago, I couldn't unite the entire Tiando League army and gather them into one hand. Now, I'm not suitable to be in charge of the Empire of Darkness. Everything is up to you. From now on, you have the final say in the Temple of Annihilation. Prince Li Ming said in a low voice, yes, Devil Queen. He had finally gotten what he wanted and obtained the power of the Empire of Darkness. However, the 2 trump cards in his hands had been used up. The Legion of Doom was almost completely annihilated. The undead army was also completely annihilated, although there were still countless undead on the Underworld Empire's side. However, most of the Saint-level and half-Saint-level undead were lost. Next, how to appease Ghost Emperor Wenyan's anger was a problem. Moreover, nearly half of the evil warriors had been captured. Dongli had also become a captive. Next, he only had one last card in his hand, and that was Little Western Paradise. However, Prince Li Ming didn't feel discouraged at all. Instead, he was filled with endless fighting spirit. He looked at the distant Cloud Sky City and said coldly, Yang Dian, the next battle is between you and me. At this time, in Cloud Sky City, Yang Dingtian was counting the greatest harvest in history. What harvest? Saint-level and half-Saint-level undead energy essence. A huge harvest. Chapter 1021. When the undead and Shura were destroyed, a hell magic crystal would condense. However, in the Ghost Hell region, even the hell magic crystals condensed by killing the undead would quickly dissipate. Only the hell magic crystals condensed by the Hell Shura could condense for a relatively long time. And on the great taboo day of the Second Dark Realm, there was a feast of the undead. At that time, the countless undead that had been destroyed, under the power of the two moons, the hell magic crystals of the undead could float in the air for a relatively long time. But now, they were in Cloud Sky City, so when the countless undead and Shura were destroyed by lightning, the hell magic crystals did appear, but they were almost immediately turned to ashes. So, even if the Shura vulture wanted to revive these undead, it was too late. In this great battle, Yang Dingtian gave an energy jade box to almost every Infinity Grandmaster level powerhouse. They only had one mission, which was to rush up and harvest the hell magic crystals the moment the undead and Shura were killed. This time, too many undead were destroyed, no less than 100 million. Logically speaking, there should be some harvest. In the end, there was no harvest. In the incomparably crazy hunting, countless low-level undead and Shura didn't even have the chance to produce hell magic crystals before they were directly turned to ashes. As for the higher-level undead and Shura, after being destroyed by lightning, the hell magic crystals disappeared in the blink of an eye. It was very difficult to even see them, let alone harvest them. Yang Dingtian concluded that after the undead above the Grandmaster level were destroyed, the hell magic crystals could be seen with the naked eye. They would appear in an instant and then disappear, so fast that it was impossible to harvest them. And after the Grandmaster level Shura was destroyed, the hell magic crystals that condensed could exist for less than 0.1 seconds. As for the undead above the half-saint level that were killed in the end, after being destroyed by lightning, the hell magic crystals that appeared could last for less than half a second. And the Shura above the half-saint level could stay in the air for more than half a second. So, in this feast, although most of the undead's energy essence was wasted, but there was still a very, very rich harvest. But how much harvest? He didn't know, and had no way of knowing. Because it was stored in the energy jade box, it couldn't be opened. As soon as it was opened, it would completely dissipate. As for Yang Dingtian, he wore the magic spirit mist cloak and quickly flashed to harvest those hell mana crystals. He used his soul ring to harvest these hell magic crystals. Everything happened too quickly. From the beginning to the end, it took less than half a second. In short, the number of energy jade boxes that were handed over to Yang Dingtian was more than 1,000. In other words, they had captured at least 1,000 hell magic crystals. And Yang Dingtian's harvest was the only clear one, because he had the Nether Ghost Emperor in his soul ring. He had captured a total of 19 half-saint hell magic crystals and 9 saint hell magic crystals. Of course, his gains were not the greatest. The ones who benefited the most were the Mermaid Queen Violets and Naru, the two saint-level experts. They were also wearing the demonic spirit mist cloak. All hell magic crystals had to be refined by the Nether Ghost Emperor before they could be used by humans. Therefore, according to the agreement, he had to give 1/3 of the hell magic crystals that he refined. In other words, Yang Dingtian had to give him 6 half-saint hell magic crystals and 3 saint hell magic crystals. Unfortunately, the Nether Ghost Emperor's current cultivation was not enough to refine the Saint Hell magic crystals. He couldn't even swallow them directly. Therefore, in the end, he refined the energy essences. In total, there were 6 level 15, 3 level 16, 3 level 17, and 1 level 18. Of course, this was only a small part of the harvest. Although there weren't many master level, Great Master level, and infinite Great Master level hell magic crystals. But the energy essences of half-saint level and above had a fixed location and a clear target. Moreover, they were destroyed one after the other and not at the same time. Therefore, most of the most precious hell magic crystals should be in his hands. Next, the more troublesome part was how to take these hell magic crystals out of the energy jade boxes and give them to the Nether Ghost Emperor to refine. Of course, there were 2 ways. The first way was to go to the Ghost Nether region. However, that would be no different from courting death. Once the Ghost Emperor Wenyan found out about the crushing defeat here, he would probably be heartbroken and hate Yang Dingtian to the bone. If Yang Dingtian dared to enter the Ghost Nether region, he would definitely use all means to kill Yang Dingtian. Although more than half of the Saint level, half-Saint level undead and Shura level undead had died in this battle. But in the Underworld Empire, there were still half-Saint level undead and Shura level undead and Shura level undead. Of course, if the speed of entering and leaving was very, very fast. Perhaps it would be a different story. What he was afraid of was that the Nether Ghost Emperor had set a huge trap in the Underworld Empire and was waiting for Yang Dingtian. This way, not only would he capture Yang Dingtian, but he would also be able to snatch back the precious Hell Magic Crystals. The second way was, of course, to borrow the Evil Way's Underworld Ghost City. It was still very dangerous there, but it should be much better than the Underworld Empire. After Yang Dingtian collected all the energy jade boxes, the few of them immediately held an emergency meeting in the air. Should they go to the Underworld Ghost City and take out the Hell Magic Crystals and transfer them into the Soul Ring for the Nether Ghost Emperor to refine? Neru and the Mermaid Queen expressed that there was no need for discussion and that they should immediately go to the Underworld Ghost City. Because now was the Evil Way's most chaotic time, the Devil Queen must have suffered a huge blow. When she came back to her senses, she would definitely close the Underworld Ghost City. There was no time to lose. Yang Dingtian collected all the energy jade boxes at the first moment. Then he, Neru, and the Mermaid Queen Violets wore the demonic spirit mist cloak and flew to the Underworld Ghost City as fast as they could. Thus, a funny thing happened. The Devil Queen and Prince Li Ming led all the evil spirit warriors back to Sky Demon City as fast as they could. Yang Dingtian and the other two wore the demonic spirit mist cloak and flew to Sky Demon City as fast as they could. The Mermaid Queen Violets, for some reason, was carrying a huge destructive bomb. Fortunately, she was a saint-rank powerhouse. Carrying such a huge destructive bomb, her flying speed was definitely not fast. In the end, a funny thing happened. Yang Dingtian and the other two arrived at Sky Demon City earlier than the Devil Queen and the others. Yang Dingtian did not dare to enter the Empire of Darkness. But the Underworld Ghost City was not a problem at all. Yang Dingtian and the other two arrived above the Underworld Ghost City and saw the huge pyramid at first glance. That thing was the Undead's teleportation array. "Let's blow up this pyramid later," the Mermaid Queen Violet said. So, this was what she was planning. However, this was indeed the best opportunity because the rear of the Evil Ways was completely empty. He really did not know what the Devil Queen was thinking. She did not even leave behind a single saint-rank powerhouse in such an important rear. Only a group of dark dragons, dark evil dragons, and destructive earth dragons were left behind. What was the use of that? Yang Dingtian and the other two immediately went into the Underworld Ghost City. They were about to open the energy storage and transfer the Hell Magic Crystal inside into the Soul Ring. However, they were stopped by the Netherworld Ghost Emperor. "Stop!" Yang Dingtian was shocked. "Why?" The Netherworld Ghost Emperor said, "This Underworld Ghost City is greatly lacking in Netherworld energy. Once the Hell Magic Crystal is taken out, it will instantly turn into ashes." Yang Dingtian asked, "This is already the Underworld Ghost City. Why is there still insufficient Netherworld energy?" The Netherworld Ghost Emperor said, "Will your crystal power unit be running all day long?" With this, Yang Dingtian understood. This Underworld Ghost City had been modified by Shura. However, most of its Netherworld energy was supplied by the Empire of Darkness's Skirich imperial capital. The modified Underworld Ghost City was equivalent to an electrical circuit that could transmit the Netherworld energy converted by the Empire of Darkness to every corner of the Ghost City. This did not mean that Shura could create a real Underworld Ghost City. If that was the case, Yang Dingtian did not understand. If the Devil Queen wanted to invade the Central Continent, how would she build the Ghost City in the Central Continent? Could she dig a huge tunnel from the bottom of the sea and transmit the Empire of Darkness's energy to the Central Continent? In order to provide the Netherworld energy for the Underworld Ghost City, the Skirich imperial capital had to desperately extract energy from the mainland. Therefore, when the undead were not around, even when the sky was dark, the Skirich imperial capital would cut off the supply of Netherworld energy to the Underworld Ghost City. If there was no Netherworld energy in the Underworld Ghost City, wouldn't they have come for nothing? "We didn't come for nothing. At least we can blow up this pyramid. This way, the undead and Shura will never be able to enter the human countries again," the Mermaid Queen Violet said. Then she immediately took action. She drilled a big hole in the ground and buried the huge destructive bomb under the pyramid's energy array. At this time, the evil warriors had already flown back. Violet said, "Should we wait? Will the Devil Queen activate the netherworld energy in the underworld ghost city?" Yang Dingun shook his head and said, "That's impossible. Now that the undead and Shura's army have been wiped out, there's no need to waste energy activating the netherworld energy. Let's go." Violet nodded and directly activated the crystal ignition device of the destructive bomb. Then, the three of them retreated from the underworld ghost city as fast as they could. As for the huge amount of hell magic crystals, they would have to think of another way. At this time, the Devil Queen handed over the authority of the evil ways to Prince Li Ming. Prince Li Ming looked in the direction of Cloud Sky City and said word by word, "Yang Dingnan, the next battle is between you and me." Then he turned to look at the pyramid below and said slowly, "Next, there will be more than 10 saint-level undead and dozens of half-saint-level undead entering the human countries. Every night, they will carry out fatal assassinations on the upper echelons of your Council of Light. From now on, Yang Dingkan, your Council of Light will never have a day of peace. Every day, one of your trusted subordinates will die." Before he could finish his sentence, a voice rang out. Boom! Suddenly, there was an earth-shattering explosion. Then, the huge pyramid's energy array was instantly torn apart. Chapter 1022. Prince Li Ming had only just finished speaking. There was an earth-shattering sound as the gigantic energy pyramid seemed to be torn apart from the middle by an incomparably powerful hand. Then, countless huge energy crystals flew into the sky. The entire energy pyramid was instantly torn apart and completely destroyed. All the evil spirit warriors present were instantly stunned. As for Prince Li Ming, he was completely shocked. In this world, there was nothing more humiliating than this moment. He had finally taken over the authority of the Empire of Darkness and was in high spirits to fight a big battle with Yang Dingtian. Moreover, his strategy would definitely work. Letting the saint-level undead and Shura assassinate the higher-ups of the Council of Light in the middle of the night was simply unsolvable. In the end, just as he said that, the energy pyramid was completely destroyed. In order to create these two energy pyramids, the Demon City's merchant palace had already exhausted everything. In order to maximize the power of the energy pyramid, the evil ways had taken out all the relevant crystals. The energy pyramid was built as big as it could be. Once it was blown up, it meant that the undead's path to enter the human kingdom was completely cut off. Almost at the same moment that the pyramid was blown up, a black shadow suddenly shot out of the ruins like lightning. It was Wolingzi, who had already broken through to the saint level. Immediately, Prince Li Ming was filled with vigilance. However, the first thing the Infernal Queen did was to lock the spirit vulture tightly. Prince Li Ming's gaze shifted away from Wolingzi and immediately thought that Yang Dingtian must have brought a destructive bomb to blow up the energy pyramid. Almost instinctively, Prince Li Ming wanted to order all the evil spirit warriors to capture the Council of Light's sneak attack. But soon he gave up on this naive idea. Yang Dingtian had the Naga royalty sword soul and 2 saint-level powerhouses by his side at all times. It was a fool's dream to capture him. He looked down at the ruins of the pyramid that had been blown up, and his heart ached. He resisted the urge to vomit blood and ordered, "Return to the Empire of Darkness." Immediately, all the evil spirit warriors followed the wand dejectedly and entered the Empire of Darkness. The morale of the entire evil spirit army was extremely low. Wolingzi glanced at his daughter and frowned slightly, but he did not do or say anything in the end. After entering the Empire of Darkness, Prince Li Ming was relieved of Wolingzi, and the Queen Devil Queen no longer locked onto the vulture all the time. In the Skirich imperial capital of the Empire of Darkness, the Queen Devil Queen and Prince Li Ming controlled the life and death of almost everyone, including the saint-level powerhouse Wolingzi. Prince Li Ming even had the impulse to imprison Wolingzi in the energy prison and take away his second-grade evil spirit since he was completely useless now. In this way, his energy reserve and Xian meridians would not be able to support his saint-level cultivation and would be turned into ashes. But soon, he gave up on this plan because there was no need. because in the Empire of Darkness, even the saint-level Wulingzi would not be a threat. Instead, he could take the opportunity to win people's hearts and show that he was open and aboveboard. More importantly, what should he do next? There were two methods. The first method was to take the initiative to attack. The second method was to hide in the Empire of Darkness and wait for the return of the Demon King when in. Logically, the second method should be to hide in the Empire of Darkness and do nothing, because when the return of the Demon King went in, all the problems would be solved. But Prince Li Ming would not allow himself to be so cowardly. He had just obtained the power of the Empire of Darkness, but in the end, he did nothing and could only hide in the Empire of Darkness. Wouldn't that make him seem very incompetent? At this moment, he suddenly understood why the Devil Queen had to launch the second Doomsday Battle. Because sometimes, a leader's face was more important than anything else. If Prince Li Ming did nothing, it would be a devastating blow to his prestige and the morale of the evil ways. He could not stay still, he had to counterattack. Then, how should he counterattack? The real counterattack was to seize the gate of the human kingdom from Yang Dingtian's hands and directly connect the Little Western Paradise to the human kingdom. This way, the saint-level experts, half-level experts, and infinite grandmasters of the Little Western Paradise would be able to continuously enter the human kingdom. In this way, the Radiant Parliament went from having the upper hand to being in a precarious situation. But unfortunately, the current power of the evil ways was much weaker than the Council of Light in terms of martial arts. Relying on martial arts alone was not enough to take back the gate of the human kingdom. Then he had to use other methods. Perhaps it was a diversion, or perhaps he could use a scheme, or perhaps he could use a hostage to force Yang Dingtian to give up the gate of the human kingdom. Using a hostage to force Yang Dingtian to compromise was the only thought in Prince Li Ming's mind. And the best hostage was Yang Dingtian's family. Then, was it possible to rob and kidnap Yang Dingtian's family? Was it possible? Yang Dingtian and the other two returned to Cloud Sky City. The entire Cloud Sky City once again held a small banquet. At this time, the victory of the Second Apocalyptic War had already spread in all directions. 2 times, 2 world extermination wars, both were glorious victories. Evil ways were all wiped out in an instant. This should be enough to eliminate the fear of evil ways in the human kingdom. After the small celebration banquet, they entered an emergency meeting. The topic of the meeting was, what should the Council of Light do next? In the Second Apocalyptic War, the evil ways were defeated. What will they do next? How will they take revenge? Yang Dingtian asked. The Mermaid Queen Violet said, when the undead army was wiped out, the Devil Queen directly vomited blood. So, she is very likely to be disappointed in herself, and perhaps she will hand over the power of the evil ways. When this was said, Yang Dingtian couldn't help but nod. Among those present, besides the Mermaid Queen, Yang Dingtian understood the Devil Queen better. Violet said that the Devil Queen would hand over the power, and this was very likely. Suddenly, Yang Dingtian said, if the Devil Queen gives up the power, will it be Mu Dan, Dishi Bian, or Prince Li Ming? It can only be Prince Li Ming. Dongfang Minmi said, Dishi Bian and Bing Ling have their wills suppressed by the evil spirits, so they can't be the first leaders. Suddenly, Yang Dingtian's heart trembled. If Prince Li Ming took the power, it would be troublesome. This person was extremely cunning and vicious. Although the Devil Queen was vicious and merciless, she didn't even blink when she said that she would massacre a city. However, she was very direct. The first time she massacred a city, the second time she would do the same. She wanted to destroy hundreds of millions of human countries and win the war of extinction. In short, the Devil Queen was very particular about her face. But Prince Li Ming was different. This person did things by hook or by crook. Qin Wanchou said, if I were Prince Li Ming, the first thing I would do would be revenge, the most vicious revenge. Let Sect Master Yang Dingtian feel the pain of his bones. Dongfang Minmi said, he might send saint-level powerhouses to make a move against Sect Master's family. Is the Netherworld Sea safe enough? The ancient giant beast shouldn't be able to resist 2 saint-level powerhouses. The Devil Queen had a bottom line when doing things, and basically wouldn't touch Yang Dingtian's family. But at this time, Prince Li Ming wouldn't have this bottom line. Yang Dingtian said, "The Netherworld Sea should be safe enough. Yen Yen, Master's wife, and the children are staying in Wu Yu's palace. A very powerful energy array has been set up, and even saint-level powerhouses can't enter." Immediately after, Yang Dingtian continued, "Of course, if there is a need, I can send my family to Mount Buzhou." Qin Wanchou said, "If he can't find a chance to make a move on Sect Master's family, then he might make a move on the higher-ups of the Council of Light. Although these hostages aren't as important as Sect Master's family, Sect Master is kind and takes pity on them. So, even if the higher-ups of the Council of Light are captured or killed, it will be a huge blow to Sect Master." This was what Yang Dingtian was most afraid of. Previously, the evil ways wouldn't touch the higher-ups of the Council of Light, and Yang Dingtian wouldn't capture the evil warriors. It was a tacit understanding between both sides. But obviously, this tacit understanding had been completely shattered. And if Prince Li Ming was really in charge, he would be completely unscrupulous. To completely avoid this, of course, it was possible to gather all the higher-ups of the Council of Light in Cloud Sky City. Under the protection of 2 saint-level powerhouses, a large number of half-saints, and a huge lightning energy shield, it seemed to be absolutely safe. But the Council of Light had a lot of things to do every day. The Council of Light's army, most of its secret bases and manufacturing factories couldn't do without the management of the Council of Light's higher-ups. Evil ways could mostly hide in the safety of the Empire of Darkness and only send out saint-level and half-saint powerhouses to wreak havoc in the human countries. Evil ways didn't need to govern any place, and they didn't need to control any army. But the Council of Light had to manage the entire human countries and had a huge responsibility. Moreover, it was after the war. Whether it was the reconstruction work or the work of the army, they were all extremely busy. Making all the higher-ups of the Council of Light hide because they were afraid of death? This couldn't be done. Yang Dingtian couldn't do it, and the Council of Light couldn't do it either. If they were so afraid of death, then what right did the Council of Light have to rule this world? Therefore, the problem was almost unsolvable. Evil ways sent out saint-level and half-saint powerhouses to capture and kill the higher-ups of the Council of Light. There was simply no way to stop them. For a moment, the entire Council of Light's higher-ups fell into silence. At this time, in the Skirich imperial capital of the Empire of Darkness, the Devil Queen officially handed over the temporary highest authority of the Temple of Annihilation to Prince Li Ming in front of all the evil spirit warriors. Before the Demon King Wen Yin returned, Prince Li Ming had the final say in the entire evil ways. Prince Li Ming didn't beat around the bush. He directly said, "From now on, our battle with Yang Dingtian of the Council of Light will enter a new stage." Everyone lowered their heads. Prince Li Ming continued, "Next, we have 2 goals. The first is to take revenge on the Council of Light and deal a fatal blow to Yang Dingtian. The second goal is to open the door to the human countries and let the experts of Little Western Paradise enter the human countries continuously. This way, our martial forces will instantly crush the Council of Light." Everyone was still depressed. Now, it seemed that the strength of the evil spirit warriors was far behind Yang Dingtian's martial strength. It was already impossible to rely on martial strength to seize the door to the human countries. Prince Li Ming said, "In order to achieve these 2 goals, I announce that Operation Viper has begun." Operation Viper? Immediately, everyone looked at Prince Li Ming. Prince Li Ming said, "Viper has 2 meanings. One is to hide, and the other is to launch sneak attacks. Next, most of the evil spirit warriors will stay in the Empire of Darkness to ensure their safety. We will only send experts of half-sage level and above to leave the Empire of Darkness and launch sneak attacks on the Council of Light." Prince Li Ming's gaze swept across everyone. "What do you mean by sneak attacks?" "It means that we won't let any martial venerable level or above martial artists of the Council of Light go. As long as we see them, kill half of them and capture the other half. No matter how powerful Yang Dingtian is, it's impossible for him to protect all the experts of martial venerable level and above. If he does so, the Council of Light will collapse instantly, and the human countries will collapse instantly." Kill or capture any expert of martial venerable level or above. This plan was very simple, but it was extremely poisonous and completely impossible to defend against. In fact, Yang Dingtian wouldn't even be able to take revenge. This was because most of the evil spirit warriors were in the Darkness Empire's Skirich imperial capital. Of course, some of the evil spirit warriors had fallen into Yang Dingtian's hands. However, Prince Li Ming didn't care about the lives of these people. On the other hand, Yang Dingtian cared about the lives of the Council of Light's martial artists. Despicable was the master of despicable people. Justice was sometimes the binding stone of righteous people. Prince Li Ming said, "As long as we kill a few hundred and capture a few hundred high-ranking members of the Council of Light, we will be able to do it. If Yang Dingtian doesn't compromise, he can only collapse. I announce that all evil spirit warriors of half-sage level and above will participate in Operation Viper, including Her Majesty Devil Queen." "Okay," the Devil Queen said. The evil spirit warriors present instinctively felt a chill down their spines. Although Prince Li Ming's strategy didn't look good, it was vicious enough and would definitely succeed. If he became the leader of the evil ways, it would be a nightmare for the Council of Light and Yang Dingtian. After the pyramid's energy array was destroyed, Prince Li Ming suffered a huge blow, but he quickly recovered. This was his first real confrontation with Yang Dingtian. He could only win and not lose. Although the pyramid's energy array was destroyed, many half-sage and half-sage undead Shura couldn't enter the human countries. However, the battle still had to go on. Moreover, Prince Li Ming realized that without the half-sage or saint undead Shura, although it would greatly reduce his plan, he could still carry it out and bring Yang Dingtian bone-piercing pain. Yang Dingtian's figure appeared in Prince Li Ming's mind. The failure of these two great wars not only caused a fatal blow to the Devil Queen, but also to Prince Li Ming. One had to know that in front of Prince Li Ming, Yang Dingtian was just an ant that could be trampled to death with one foot. Even after Yang Dingtian broke through to half-sage and unified the human countries, Prince Li Ming didn't take him seriously. When he went to Cloud Sky City to deliver the invitation, he still seemed to be full of contempt. However, in these two great wars, the first time, Yang Dingtian returned as the king, and the Naga royalty sword spirit appeared, causing the Legion of Doom to be completely wiped out. The second time, Yang Dingtian completely mastered the power of lightning and destroyed the undead army. In an instant, Yang Dingtian was not only on equal footing with him. He was even starting to look down on Prince Li Ming. This was something that Li Ming couldn't tolerate at all. A person who used to be an ant was starting to look down on him. "Yang Dingnan, I'm about to make a move. How are you going to deal with it? I know that you must have guessed what I'm going to do, but you can't stop it at all." Prince Li Ming said coldly in his heart, "As long as I make a move, you'll still be that pitiful worm in the yin-yang mirror a few years ago. There's nothing you can do." After pondering for a long time, the higher-ups of the Council of Light couldn't come up with any way to stop the revenge of the evil ways. Of course, many people knew that a large number of evil spirit warriors had become captives of the Council of Light. But if Prince Li Ming really became the leader of the evil ways, then these captives would be useless. Prince Li Ming didn't even seem to care about Dongli's life and death. Why would he care about these Tom, Dick, and Harry? Qin Wanshou suddenly said, "Since you're a member of the Council of Light, you have to be mentally prepared for any encounter. There will be sacrifices in any struggle. Sacrifices are normal." His meaning was very clear. Since they couldn't stop it, then they wouldn't stop it and bear these losses. If someone in the Council of Light had to die, then there was nothing they could do. The Mermaid Queen Violet said, "Use Dongli as a hostage and threaten the evil ways to not act rashly. Otherwise, throw the thing into the dark matter and perish together. In this way, the void fire on his body will be completely destroyed." Without a doubt, the void fire on Dongli's body was a loss that the evil ways couldn't bear. Therefore, Dongli was a valuable hostage and a very valuable one at that. Yang Dingtian shook his head and said, "Dongli as a hostage corresponds to Vulture. If we completely destroy Dongli, then something terrible will happen to Vulture." That's right, it was like this. The Mermaid Queen immediately lowered her head. Before Vulture was rescued, Dongli couldn't be touched. If they touched Dongli, Li Ming would definitely touch Vulture. He wouldn't kill her, but Vulture was a woman. She had a lot of experiences that might be even more painful than death. This wouldn't do, that wouldn't do. Could it be that there was nothing they could do while evil ways viciously retaliated? Yang Dingtian closed his eyes for a long time, then opened them and said, "There's only one way, but I don't know if it can be done. If it can be done, then the revenge of evil ways will disappear in an instant." "What's the way?" Violets asked. "Attack the Empire of Darkness and attack the headquarters of evil ways." Yang Dingnan, in this way, evil ways can only desperately protect the Empire of Darkness and have no spare energy to do anything else. That's right, this was extremely correct strategically. Whether it was on the battlefield or in a struggle, the most taboo thing was to follow someone else's baton. Passively defending was the worst strategy. And sometimes, it was impossible to defend at all. Therefore, there was a saying in strategy, "You fight your own, I fight mine." In short, one must never passively dance to the footsteps of others. One must seize the initiative. However, how difficult was it to attack the Empire of Darkness? The Mermaid Queen Violet said, "It's not like you haven't entered the Empire of Darkness. Even Naga could only desperately escape inside, let alone us. Even if a saint-level powerhouse enters, they will only turn into ashes. The Empire of Darkness itself is an incomparably huge energy array. Attacking the Empire of Darkness is completely a one-way trip." The Mermaid Queen Violets directly rejected this plan. "Yang Dingtian, when I said to attack the Empire of Darkness, I didn't mean to enter the Empire of Darkness. All the energy of the Empire of Darkness comes from a few continents. Whether it's the Skirich Imperial Capital or the Dark Castle, they are all connected by countless energy channels. And these energy channels are directly connected to the Yin-Yang Mirror, the Demon Realm, the world of ice and snow, and other continents. If we cut off these energy channels, the Empire of Darkness will completely lose its energy. At that time, we can directly attack the Empire of Darkness." As soon as Yang Dingtian's voice fell, he immediately received many admiring gazes. This was Yang Dingtian. Usually, he wasn't outstanding in terms of strategy. However, at critical moments, his strategy and vision would be higher than everyone else's. If this plan could succeed, it wouldn't be as simple as just stopping the revenge of the evil ways. Instead, it would be an even more glorious victory on the basis of two huge victories. Since there were no other ideas, Yang Dingtian immediately made a decision and decided to attack the Empire of Darkness himself. At night, Yang Dingtian seized the time to devour the energy essence and try his best to make a big breakthrough in his cultivation. Chapter 1023. Queen Devil Queen said, "Yang Dingtian has mastered the power of lightning. Not only is it his own mysterious fire, but it also fills the sky with lightning. The entire Cloud Sky City has become a death zone shrouded in the power of lightning." Ghost Emperor Wentian said, "That's impossible. I know that Yang Dingtian and I came from the same plane. So I have a different understanding of the power of lightning. I can even make a simpler generator. But the power of these generators is very small. It's not enough to pose a threat to the powerful undead army. And most importantly, any power of lightning needs a conductor. So it's impossible to cause a large amount of damage to the undead army." Queen Devil Queen said, "The lightning in Cloud Sky City has thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of bolts. They cover every inch of the sky above Cloud Sky City, spanning hundreds of miles. Within a few hundred miles of Cloud Sky City, everything has become a death zone for the power of lightning." Ghost Emperor Wendian said in shock, "No wires." Queen Devil Queen said, "No. That's impossible, that's impossible." Ghost Emperor Wendian said, "It's impossible for humans to create lightning. It's even more impossible to wirelessly discharge electricity. That's impossible, that's impossible." Sigh. Speaking up to this point, he really had to sigh. Who asked Wenyan to be one of the first university students after the Cultural Revolution? And he was a liberal arts student. In those 10 years, most people abandoned their studies. So even though he was a university student, he had some understanding of electricity. He even had some understanding of the primitive engine. Tesla coils were common knowledge in the 21st century. He really didn't know about them. So, he was very confident that his undead energy was invincible. In fact, he didn't have a clear understanding of the power of lightning. Because, in his era, the entire country didn't have much electricity. When he was in the countryside, he could only use candles and kerosene lamps. And even if there were electric lights in the city, they were red. Because the power was not enough, the electric lights were obviously not bright enough. So, in his mind, electricity was basically the same as electric lights. He didn't think that electricity had any great power. In the hearts of this generation, the greatest power was represented by the atomic bomb and the hydrogen bomb. Now, it was said that Yang Dingtian had created such a huge wireless lightning in the chaos world. Ghost Emperor Wentian couldn't help but feel deeply defeated. This means that you did better than me on Earth, and you know more than me. However, these thoughts were quickly thrown to the back of his mind. Next, an extremely serious matter was placed in front of him. 100 million undead had been completely wiped out. More than half of his energy assets had disappeared. Instantly, his heart ached so much that it almost twitched. Looking at his beloved woman in front of him, he couldn't help but roar angrily, You prodigal girl, this is more than half of my energy savings. You are really a bastard. The Devil Queen, who was scolded, trembled, and her face became even paler. Then she clenched her teeth and said, I will definitely find a way to return this energy to you. Return it? Why are you returning it? Dozens of saint level, hundreds of saint level, countless undead. Even if you kill all the human countries, it won't be enough. Ghost Emperor Wentian said, trembling. Suddenly, the Devil Queen's face became even more unsightly. Ghost Emperor Wentian closed his eyes in pain. After a while, he gradually calmed down. He had always been an extremely intelligent person. Since things had already happened, there was no point in blaming her. Okay, I don't blame you. Ghost Emperor Wentian said, I shouldn't have scolded you like this. This is my fault. I apologize. Devil Queen's beautiful face twitched again. Ghost Emperor Wentian said, Piao Ling, I don't know what the person walking on the dark throne is thinking. But you are not suitable to lead the Temple of Annihilation. Leave everything to Li Ming. He is Yang Dingtian's fatal opponent. Devil Queen said with a self-deprecating smile, I have already left it to him. Ghost Emperor Wentian said, Then what does he plan to do? Devil Queen said, He formulated the Viper Plan, which is to kill and capture all the higher-ups of the Council of Light. Force Yang Dingtian to give up the gate to the human countries, and then send a large number of experts from Little Western Paradise to enter the human countries. The final goal is to kill most of the people of the human countries, kill all the higher-ups of the Council of Light, and completely destroy Yang Dingtian's confidence and will. Using the chastity of Yang Dingtian's wife and the lives of his children, force Yang Dingtian to voluntarily give up his body for you to take over, and give up the greater space technique. In the end, you will take over Yang Dingtian's body, combine with Naga, and share Naga's demigod body. Then, all the Wenshins of the plains will combine into one and break through to the divine level. Ghost Emperor Wentian was silent for a moment, then said, Although it is very shameless, it is already a life-and-death struggle with Yang Dingtian. This strategy is correct. You and Dishi Bian go together and carry out Li Ming's Viper Plan. Kill all the higher-ups of the Council of Light that you can see, and give Yang Dingtian a deep and painful revenge. Devil Queen said. Ghost Emperor Wentian said, What about the person on the dark throne? Devil Queen said, He went to find the Naga Dugu Shuang. In her words, Devil Queen was even a little resentful. If the Demon King Wentian was here, everything would not be so passive. The Demon King Wentian's martial strength could completely suppress all the martial strength of the Light One. He could easily kill anyone and capture anyone. Ghost Emperor Wentian said, His method is correct. If Yang Dingtian finds the Naga Dugu Shuang first, then we will lose all hope. Yang Dingtian, who shares the demigod talent, is truly invincible. Then, Ghost Emperor Wenin said, Go together with Dishi Bien. It is best to deal with Yang Dingtian before that person on the Dark Throne returns. After a moment, the Queen Devil Queen and Dishi Bien, two saint-level experts, flew together towards the Empire of Darkness. At this moment in Cloud Sky City. I'm really busy. Must you lock me up in Cloud Sky City? Yun Junu could not help but ask, even though she was already prepared to sacrifice herself. However, Yun Junu, Song Lihua, and the others were still brought back to Cloud Sky City. Because they were women. If they fell into Li Ming's hands, the consequences would be worse than death. It's the same if you work in Cloud Sky City, Yang Dingtian said. Then, Yang Dingtian handed Cloud Sky City over to the two saint-level experts, Neru and the Mermaid Queen Violets. Then, he flew directly to the Yin-Yang Mirror, the Demon Realm, and the world of ice and snow to find the energy channels between the continents and the Empire of Darkness. Once he found it, he could deal a fatal blow to the Empire of Darkness and the evil ways. At this moment, in the ruins of the Sea Serpent Empire's demon capital, the Queen of the Sea Heart welcomed her happiest and most exciting time. She finally found the ruins of the ancient Sea Serpent Empire. This meant that she had taken the most crucial step on her path to becoming stronger. In the following time, she wandered around the ruins of the demon capital. Suddenly, she felt a surge of emotions, especially when she saw countless sea serpents who had all turned into stone. Hundreds of thousands, millions, or even more. These were the incomparably powerful ancient sea serpents. Their martial cultivation was not something that the warriors of this era could compare to. If she could revive everything here, she could become the ruler of this underwater empire. That would mean the rebirth of the Sea Serpent Empire. The destruction of the Serpent Empire was not even worth mentioning. She continued to go deeper into the ruins of the Sea Serpent Empire. Everything in this empire was too magnificent and too powerful. This kind of magnificence was not something that the Serpent Empire could compare to. Although the Serpent Empire of the Dongli grassland had a pyramid that was large enough and the city walls were tens of thousands of miles long. However, it still showed a sense of smallness. In the end, Queen Hai Exen led the last of the serpent tribe to the palace of the Sea Serpent Empire. This mountain-like palace made Hai Exen's body tremble. This was a real empire. This was the empire that should belong to her. The rest of the serpent tribe were also particularly excited. Compared to the Dongli grassland, this might be their home. Queen Hai Exen continued to go deeper, deeper. Finally, she came to the largest hall. In this hall that was tens of thousands of meters long, she saw the Sea Serpent Queen in the middle at first glance. In an instant, Hai Exen's delicate body trembled violently. This Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire looked very, very much like her. When Queen Poisa saw the Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire for the first time, she felt that part of her was very similar to her, and the other part was very similar to Hai Exen. And Hai Exen's first impression was that she looked like her, because she only saw the part of the Sea Serpent Empire that looked like her. It was only after a long time that she noticed that the Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire was also partly similar to Venomous Sha. What did this mean? It meant that she and Poisa were real sisters. Regarding this point, Hai Exen only trembled slightly and was immediately thrown away. The only remaining thought was that she was the descendant of the Sea Serpent Empire Queen, then she was the master of this ancient Sea Serpent Empire. She was the master of this empire. This thought made her heart tremble. Therefore, she immediately set a grand goal. She wanted to restore all the sea serpents who had turned into stone here. Of course, this Sea Serpent Empire Queen in front of her was an exception. Although she was her mother, the Sea Serpent Empire could only have one master. As for how to resurrect, she had no idea at all. However, these sea serpents were all killed by Queen Medusa. She was the one who petrified all the sea serpents. Then, she might have a way to resurrect all the petrified sea serpents. How could she find Queen Medusa? In the past 200 years, the only person who had interacted with Queen Medusa was the Demon King Wenin. She was intoxicated by her ambition for a long time. Then, Queen Hyexian discovered the crystal ball in the hands of the Sea Serpent Empire Queen. This huge crystal ball was flowing with light, as if it contained a mysterious universe. It must have an incomparably powerful force. If she devoured this crystal ball, would she become very powerful? This was Queen Seaheart's first thought, and it was also her only thought. Poisa's first reaction when she saw the crystal ball was surprise and curiosity. Then she immediately reached out to touch it. And Queen Hyexian's first reaction was to devour it and possess it. Then Queen Hyexian carefully observed the crystal ball, thinking about how to devour it. If I'm not wrong, this crystal ball is definitely related to the Naga Empire. Suddenly, a gloomy and mechanical voice sounded in the hall. Who is it? Queen Hyexian said coldly. Whoosh! A huge figure suddenly appeared in the hall. Instantly, all the serpents in the hall, including Queen Hyexian, felt suffocated. It was as if a huge mountain was pressing down on them. The person who came was, of course, the Demon King Wenyan. The Demon King Wenyan, who was wearing the Chaos Emperor armor, appeared. He first searched the entire world aimlessly, but he couldn't find the Naga Dogushui. Finally, he came to the Devil's Sea and found Queen Hyexian, who was trudging painstakingly. Queen Hyexian was also a candidate for the next generation of Naga. Therefore, she had an intuition about the psychology of the Naga. Therefore, the Demon King Wenyan followed her secretly and finally came here. When he first saw this crystal ball, the Demon King Wenyan instinctively thought that this crystal ball was related to the Naga Empire. Even if he followed this crystal ball, he would be able to find the Naga Dogushui, because he was the one who knew the most about the Naga Empire. Chapter 1024. Especially the frozen scene in the hall. The Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire was about to destroy the crystal ball, and the expression on her face was particularly horrified. Moreover, whether it was the Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire or the ministers present, all of them were looking in the same direction, revealing a horrified expression. What they saw was obviously Queen Medusa. The Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire wanted to destroy the crystal ball to prevent the arrival of Queen Medusa and save the Sea Serpent Empire. But obviously, she didn't make it in time. All of this was something that Demon King Wenyan could guess with a single glance. He knew that whether it was the Mermaid Empire, the Sea Serpent Empire, or the Naga Empire, there was an energy channel between them. The Naga Empire used this energy channel to rule the Sea Serpent Empire and the Mermaid Empire. Seeing the Demon King Wenyan, Queen Hyexian's expression changed greatly, then she thought of her deal and immediately floated to the ground, then knelt on one knee and said, Hyexian greets your majesty Demon King. The Demon King Wenyan glanced at Hyexian, then said, You are an ambitious woman, I know what you are thinking. Hyexian kowtowed and said, Nothing can be hidden from your majesty Demon King. The Demon King went and said, We can make a deal. You help me go to the ruins of the Naga Empire, and I help you ask Queen Medusa about the method to revive the Sea Serpent Empire. Hyexian's expression changed again. The Demon King Wenyan can read minds? Why can he know what I am thinking? Immediately, her expression became even more respectful as she kowtowed and said, Everything will be done according to His Majesty the Demon King's will. However, according to Yang Dingtian, the ruins of the old Naga Empire should have been completely destroyed and turned into the Umbral Realm. Perhaps this is the third Umbral Realm that he has been to. Demon King Wenyan said, This point is obviously illogical. The formation of the second Dark Domain has been around for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years. The Naga Empire, on the other hand, had disappeared over 10,000 years ago when the Great Nirvana was destroyed. Therefore, it had not even formed the first Dark Domain. It was more like a little Western paradise that was tearing space apart. Therefore, the ruins of the old Naga Empire must exist. Hyexian said, Then what should I do? Please advise me, Your Majesty the Demon King. The Demon King Wenyan pointed at the crystal ball in the hands of the Sea Serpent Empire's queen and said, The distance between the Sea Serpent Empire and the Naga Empire is very, very far. However, there is an energy channel between the two. Although Queen Medusa has never told me about this, I have learned about it from the Mermaid Empire. However, this energy channel has long been destroyed in the Mermaid Empire. As for the Sea Serpent Empire, if I am not wrong, the crystal ball in the hands of the Sea Serpent Empire's queen should be the channel that opens the channel to the ruins of the Naga Empire. Queen Hyexian's delicate body trembled. She only wanted to take the crystal ball for herself. However, she never thought that she could enter the so-called ruins of the old Naga Empire through this crystal ball. Your Majesty the Demon King, then may I ask how I can help you enter the ruins of the old Naga Empire? Queen Hyexian asked. The Demon King Wendian said, clearly, the Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire is your mother, right? Queen Hyexian nodded and said, I think so. The Demon King Wendian said, she has already turned into stone. Therefore, if there is anyone in this world who can open this crystal ball, then you, as her daughter, should be the most likely person to open it. Queen Hyexian did not hesitate and said straightforwardly, then how should I try to open the crystal ball? The Demon King Wendian said, just touch the crystal ball and input your own mystical chi and consciousness. Queen Hyexian flew onto the palm of the Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire. Then she placed her hand on the crystal ball and input her mystical chi and consciousness. At this moment, her heart was filled with apprehension. Just as her hand touched the crystal ball, she immediately felt a mysterious and intimate energy surge out. It immediately merged with her divine sense energy. Hyexian was delighted. The two energies interacted with each other in the crystal ball. It was as if the crystal ball's energy was trying to identify, test, and become restless. It was as if it wanted to open something. But in the end, everything became quiet. The energy in the crystal ball was completely silent. Clearly, Queen Hyexian did not pass its test. Queen Hyexian's heart turned cold. Then she tried again and again. In the end, the crystal ball seemed to have fallen into a deep sleep. There was no reaction at all. The Demon King Wentian's eyebrows twitched. He was extremely disappointed. Then he could not help but jump onto the palm of the Queen of the Sea Serpent Empire and input his energy and consciousness into the crystal ball. In the end, the entire crystal ball seemed to be dead silent. Hyexian and the Demon King Wendian fell into silence. Queen Hyexian's heart was filled with fear, because she was afraid that the Demon King Wendian would do something in his rage. After all, the current Queen Hyexian was almost useless to the Demon King Wendian. After a long while, the Demon King Wendian said, you have an older sister called Poisa, right? She's the one who gave birth to Naga Du Shuang? Queen Hyexian said. The Demon King Wendian said, she's one of Yang Dingtian's people? Queen Hyexian said. The Demon King Wendian said, she's also the descendant of the Sea Serpent Empire's queen, right? Queen Hyexian said. The Demon King Wendian said, in fact, she's the true successor of the Sea Serpent Empire's queen, right? Queen Hyexian felt very uncomfortable. She wanted to deny it against her will, but she still nodded and said, yes. What about her? The Demon King Wendian asked. Queen Hyexian said, I don't know. Maybe she's looking for Naga Du Shuang. The Demon King Wendian fell into a terrifying silence. Since Hyexian was able to find this place, Poison Sha would naturally be able to find this place as well. Most importantly, there were countless corpses in the Devil's Sea, corpses that had just died. These were all ancient giant beasts. Even a saint-level expert would not be able to kill so many ancient giant beasts. Then who could kill them? There was only one answer. The ancient overlord, demigod Naga. No matter how powerful the underwater giant beasts were, in front of Naga, they were like mice in front of a cat. They could only be slaughtered. If these ancient giant beasts were all killed by Naga Du Shuang, then she would definitely come here. At this time, there was no trace of Naga in the ruins of the Devil's capital. Where could she have gone? The answer was obvious. The ruins of the old Naga Empire. Thinking of this, the Demon King Wendian suddenly trembled. Once Naga Du Shuang completed her transformation and returned to human form, she would also regain her consciousness. At that time, she would take the initiative to return to the human world to look for Yang Dingtian. At that time, the consequences would be unimaginable. One had to know that Nagas were extremely loyal to their lovers. Once she merged with Yang Dingtian, she would share her demigod body with Yang Dingtian. Then, everything would be over. The Demon King Wenyan would not be able to do anything to Yang Dingtian. After a long silence, the Demon King Wenyan sat down in the center of the hall and said, "Hi Exen, do whatever you want." Then he stood guard in the hall. This was the only way for Naga to return to the human world. The Demon King Wenyan did not know when Naga Dugushuang would completely return to human form. At least now, Naga Dugushuang was extremely powerful after slaughtering the dark colossal dragons in the Empire of Darkness. But in terms of cultivation, she might not be able to surpass the Demon King Wendian, who was at the peak of the saint level. Therefore, he had to stay here and prevent Naga from returning. As for Yang Dingtian, he believed that Queen Devil Queen and Prince Li Ming were more than enough. After Queen Devil Queen and Dishi Bian returned to the Empire of Darkness, Prince Li Ming immediately started Operation Viper. The three of them left the Empire of Darkness and headed to the human world to hunt down the Council of Light. And the power of the Throne of Darkness was temporarily handed over to Princess Mudan. However, just before Prince Li Ming left, he suddenly decided to take Shura Vulture with him and leave Wolingzi in the Skirich imperial capital. Immediately, Vulture was filled with hatred, but there was nothing he could do. At the same time, Yang Dingtian had already flown into the poisonous sea behind Sky Demon City. He dived into the deepest part and discovered the huge whirlpool there. He suddenly rushed into the whirlpool. Immediately, his entire body shuttled through it quickly. At an incomparably fast speed, he shuttled through thousands of miles in a short period of time. Then he was suddenly thrown out. He left the huge whirlpool tunnel and rushed under the Yin-Yang Mirror. Under the Yin-Yang Mirror was a void of nearly 1,000 miles. Below it was an extremely hot unknown substance. In the void in the middle, there were many thousand-mile mystic vein essences that connected the Earth's core to the Yin-Yang Mirror continent. Soon enough, Yang Dingtian arrived in front of a magnificent mystic meridian essence. Countless huge amounts of energy were constantly shuttling back and forth between the tens of thousands of mystic vein essences, allowing the Yin-Yang Mirror and the Earth's core to reach a new balance. Then, there was a question in front of Yang Dingtian. That is, were these mystic vein essences the energy passageways for the Empire of Darkness to devour several continents? Could cutting off these mystic vein essences deal a fatal blow to the Empire of Darkness? If these mystic vein essences were not the energy passageways for the Empire of Darkness, and Yang Dingtian pulled them all out, then the energy of the entire continent would be out of balance, and the consequences would be unimaginable. The right thing to do was to ignore the consequences first. At worst, the entire Yin-Yang Mirror continent would be completely destroyed. He would pull out all these mystic vein essences and see if the energy of the Empire of Darkness would stop working. Yang Dingtian hesitated for a long time. Several times, he wanted to completely pull out these mystic vein essences. However, he did not do it several times. Evil ways were not his. He had to consider the consequences of his actions. Then, his mind began to recall the situation in the Empire of Darkness. Countless dark castles were connected to each other by energy tentacles, but these energy tentacles did not directly penetrate into the dark matter. It was as if all the dark castles were connected to the Skirich imperial capital. The Skirich imperial capital was the energy core of the entire Empire of Darkness. Therefore, it was not directly connected by energy tentacles to several continents to absorb energy. Instead, it was the Skirich imperial capital that directly devoured the energy of several continents to supply the entire Empire of Darkness. In other words, these mystic vein essences had no direct energy relationship with the Empire of Darkness. Destroying these mystic vein essences would affect the energy of the Empire of Darkness, but it would not be a fundamental effect. On the contrary, it would have a fatal effect on the Yin-Yang Mirror and the northern continent. Yang Dingtian began to recall the Skirich imperial capital. Its height was completely limitless, and he could not see the top or the bottom. Therefore, if he wanted to destroy the energy source of the Empire of Darkness, he might have to cut off the connection between the Skirich imperial capital and several continents. Then, Where was the Skirich imperial capital? Yang Dingtian sank into his memories, but he found it difficult to have a concrete impression. After all, he was a captive for most of the time in the Empire of Darkness, so he could not fully observe the entire Empire of Darkness territory. Then, Wu Yu or Violets should have a clearer understanding of the Empire of Darkness territory. He reckoned that the Mermaid Queen Ziluan wouldn't be able to do it either. He had only been there once, and she wasn't meticulous enough. Her understanding of the Darkness Empire's territory might not even be comparable to Yang Dingtian. Wu Yu's time in the Empire of Darkness was also very short. Then, who knew the territory of the Skirich imperial capital? Two figures suddenly appeared in Yang Dingtian's mind. One was Dongli, and the other was Gudu Wuhuan. These two were currently the two biggest evil spirit captives in Yang Dingtian's hands. Thus, Yang Dingtian did not do anything for the time being, and directly left the void below the yin-yang mirror. He went above the yin-yang mirror, then used the spatial technique to jump into the torn space. Then, he flew for tens of thousands of miles in the torn space, and arrived at the border between the torn space and the Empire of Darkness. Here, a dark corner of the dark matter extended into the Empire of Darkness. Yang Dingtian directly reached out and pulled Dongli out from the spatial ring. The evil spirit energy was truly heaven-defying. In the isolated space of the spatial ring, Dongli could still survive. It was just that he was basically in a state of suspended animation. After being pulled out by Yang Dingtian, he opened his eyes after a long while. The moment he saw Yang Dingtian, Dongli immediately revealed a deep-seated hatred and immediately tried to escape. Yang Dingtian directly grabbed his neck and said, "You can self-destruct and escape, but no matter how fast your evil spirit flies, you can't outrun my sword soul prison. So, I advise you not to waste time." What do you want?" Dongli asked. "I want to make a deal with you." Yang Dingtian, "I want to destroy the Empire of Darkness, so please draw the territory of the Empire of Darkness, the location of the Skirich imperial capital, and the location of all the dark castles." "In your dreams," Dongli said sternly, "don't even think about me betraying the Temple of Annihilation. If you don't agree, the consequences will be very tragic." Yang Dingtian sneered. "What can you do to me? You can't kill me. At most, you will be tortured like Wolingzi." Dongli sneered. "Yang Dingtian, I can't kill you, but I can bury you in the dark matter and let it completely devour you. You will die together with the dark matter, just like Wu Yuming." "No!" Dongli suddenly screamed in horror. Chapter 1025. After Dongli recovered from his shock, he said in a trembling voice, "In your dreams, I will never betray the Temple of Annihilation, nor will I betray His Majesty the Demon King." "You're really loyal," Yang Dingtian said, "but unfortunately, whether it's Prince Li Ming or Queen Devil Queen, they don't put you in their eyes at all." Then Yang Dingtian took out an image jade. In the image, Yang Dingtian proposed to exchange Dongli for Vulture. Queen Devil Queen was completely expressionless, while Prince Li Ming's mouth revealed a disdainful smile. This scene immediately hurt Dongli, and his face twitched violently. Yang Dingtian sneered, "Now, what status do you have in the Temple of Annihilation? Who asked you to be the young master? You're just an infinite great grandmaster, and there's basically no hope of breaking through to the half-saint realm." At this point, Dongli was suddenly filled with infinite hatred and said angrily, "It's all because of you. If it weren't for you, I would have broken through to the half-saint realm long ago." Then, new and old grudges, including the matter of Queen Hyexian, all rushed to his heart. Dongli said, "Yang Dingtian, I can't wait to tear you into pieces, and I can't wait to humiliate all your wives. If you want to get something from me, you're dreaming. If you give your wives to me to sleep with, I can still consider." Before Dongli could finish his words, he suddenly let out an incomparably shrill scream. This was because Yang Dingtian had ruthlessly kicked his balls, causing them to split open. That was the most vulnerable place of a human, and the pain after being hit was many times more painful than a woman giving birth to a child. Therefore, Dongli's instantaneous pain almost made him twitch, and he couldn't make a sound at all. Do you agree? Yang Dingtian asked. Dong Li was in so much pain that he couldn't make a sound. His whole body was completely curled up because it really cracked. But soon, the evil spirit energy healed the cracked egg back to its original state. However, this kind of intense pain only gradually faded after a long while. Dong Li was filled with hatred as he said, You're dreaming. I will definitely take your wife, Before he could finish, Dong Li let out another earth-shattering scream. Because this time, Yang Dingtian directly stomped down and crushed it. After a while, the evil spirit's energy healed his wounds. That intense pain had just faded away. Do you agree? Yang Dingtian asked. You dream on, Before Dong Li could finish his words, Yang Dingtian stomped on it again. Next, Dong Li completely fell into hell. Do you agree? Suddenly, he stomped his foot and burst it. Do you agree or not? Bang! He stomped on it again. Every time his balls finally recovered, Yang Dingtian would stomp on them until they burst. Then, there would be earth-shattering screams. Dong Li felt that he really didn't know how many times he had died. He even wished that he could really die. He really did so. He directly detonated his sea of energy, crippled his body, and then escaped. Even if he couldn't escape, at least he wouldn't have to suffer such terrible pain. However, every time he was about to self-detonate his sea of energy, Yang Dingtian would stomp on it and Dong Li's balls would burst first. Under the fatal pain, he couldn't do anything at all. The self-detonation was also directly stopped. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, a few days ago, Dong Li was tortured by Wolingzi to the point that he wished he was dead. He was roasted again and again. Now he realized that compared to now, being roasted by Wolingzi on the fire was already heaven. Now it was hell. This kind of pain was fierce and sudden. It was simply unbearable. Finally, in the end, Dong Li was completely like a dead dog. Although he was still in incomparable pain, he couldn't even make a sound. Yang Dingtian, dream on. I won't compromise, Dong Li said. Anyway, even if you stomp on it 100 times, it will still recover. I know. That's why I'm just torturing you. I don't want to force you to surrender by stomping on your balls, Yang Dingtian said. Then, Yang Dingtian took out the primeval Naga's eye gem that he had obtained from the mermaid queen and melted it into a dark substance. What are you doing? Dong Li said in shock. Yang Dingtian ignored him and directly grabbed him and stuffed him into the dark substance. Yang Dingtian, you dare? If anything happens to me, the vulture is finished. Don't forget that the raging void fire on me is needed by the Temple of Annihilation, Dong Li said sternly. They need it, but at least they have to defeat me first. Yang Dingtian, but if they really defeat me, the Demon King Wenin will possess me, and he will have my raging void fire. So, if he loses to me, you will be useless. If he defeats me and takes over my body, you will be of no use to him. You are just a spare tire. Evil ways will only make you angry if I kill you. As soon as these words came out, Dong Li was really hit in the most terrifying part of his heart. Yang Dingtian was right. He might really be useless to the Demon King Wenin. He was just a spare tire for the raging void fire. While speaking, Yang Dingtian directly stuffed Dong Li into the dark substance and said, I will put you in there for 2 minutes. Oh, this is the unit of time on Earth. You should know that, right? After 2 minutes, I will melt the dark substance and release you. If you are lucky, more than half of your body will be left, but it seems that it will be really difficult for your egg to be preserved. It will be completely devoured. After being devoured by the dark substance, I don't know if it can grow back. As Yang Dingtian spoke, he directly stuffed him into the hole of the dark substance. Yang Dingtian, you dare? I will kill your whole family. I will rape and kill your woman. No, let me go. The dark substance directly devoured him. Dong Li watched as a few of his toes disappeared just like that. I surrender. I will tell you, I will draw it for you. Let me out. Dong Li's voice became shrill like a eunuch's, filled with complete fear. Yang Dingtian used the eye gem to melt the dark substance on Dong Li's feet and then lifted him out. Then he observed his feet. There was really only half left. The other half had been completely devoured by the dark substance and disappeared. Come, use the evil energy to recover and see. Yang Dingtian said. Dongli shook his head in fear. After being devoured by the dark substance, there was no way to recover. Yang Dingtian carried him to a floating boulder and then gave him a piece of paper and a pen. Draw, Yang Dingtian said. Dongli's whole body was trembling as he began to draw. Yang Dingtian watched leisurely from the side and said, It's really strange. You are about to rebel. Why didn't the first-class evil spirit stop you and suppress you? Dongli said desolately, As long as the first-class evil spirit doesn't suppress my will, it may know what I am doing, but it can't stop me. Unless the Devil Queen once again let the first-class evil spirit completely suppress me. Wow. Yang Dingtian said, That Devil Queen is going to die soon. She is really stupid. The moment you were captured, she should have completely suppressed your soul. They are not worried at all that I can reveal any secrets. Dongli said, I don't even know what use you have to draw the map of the Empire of Darkness. Dongli wrote and drew. He drew very carefully. At first, his hands were trembling a little, but later he drew very smoothly. He really had the style of an art student. Moreover, even the scale was very accurate. I don't know why you want me to draw this thing, and I don't think you can do anything to the Empire of Darkness. However, this doesn't mean that I have surrendered to you. After this matter, you and I will still be mortal enemies, Dongli said coldly. Of course. Otherwise, do you think we can still be friends? Yang Dingtian sneered. Your greatest asset is the moment when you betray the evil ways. You are useless to me. Dongli's body trembled and he continued to draw. The Empire of Darkness's territory was actually very simple. It only had the Dark Castle and the Skirich Imperial Capital. Although the Dark Castle was incomparably huge, it was only a dot in the Empire of Darkness's territory. Because the drawing was very accurate, Dongli finished the whole painting after more than 2 hours. Originally, Yang Dingtian should have threatened him and said that if he drew wrong, he would do something to him. However, he didn't do such a meaningless thing. Then, he began to study the painting and compare it with his own memories. As for Dongli, he wasn't worried at all that he would escape because Dongli couldn't be faster than Yang Dingtian's Naga royalty sword spirit. The Skirich Imperial Capital will rotate, right? Yang Dingtian suddenly said. All the dark castles will rotate together. It is precisely because they rotate together that you can't see the Skirich Imperial Capital moving, right? Dongli was stunned, then nodded. Yang Dingtian began to compare the map and pointed to a point in the northeast. This is the world of ice and snow? Yes, Dongli said. This is the yin-yang mirror, and this is the demon realm. Then, according to this map, the Skirich Imperial Capital should be connected to the Sunset Mountains? Because it is more than 30 to 40,000 miles away from the world of ice and snow, Yang Dingtian said. Dongli was silent. Impossible. The Empire of Darkness's territory doesn't surpass the Land of Chaos. Otherwise, the Ghost City would be built near Sky City and wouldn't need to be built on the old site of Sky City. Yang Dingtian said, Therefore, although the Empire of Darkness appears to be under a few continents on the surface, this space is also relatively independent and doesn't completely correspond to the ground. When these words came out, Dongli's expression changed slightly. The Empire of Darkness is an independent space. Then, where is the top of the Skirich Imperial Capital? Yang Dingtian fell into deep thought. Unable to think of anything, Yang Dingtian asked Dongli, Do you know? Dongli said, You think too highly of me. Yang Dingtian closed his eyes and said, The corresponding points of the Skirich Imperial Capital should indeed be the yin-yang mirror, the demon realm, and the world of ice and snow. Then where should it be? Yang Dingtian closed his eyes and pondered. According to theory, the corresponding points of the Skirich Imperial Capital have two characteristics. Either it's especially destructive because it's the place where the energy has been devoured the most, or it's the most intact of the continents because according to the tornado theory, the eye of the storm is absolutely quiet. Yang Dingtian muttered to himself as he began to recall the continents. After pondering for a moment, Yang Dingtian gave up on the idea of building a cart behind closed doors. He still needed to go out and investigate. He immediately went to the Yin-Yang Mirror, the Devil Domain, and the world of ice and snow to search for the corresponding points of the Skirich Emperor's capital and the Darkness Empire's Chi core. Immediately, Yang Dingtian threw Dongli back into the space ring and then flew out of the torn space. At this time, in the pyramid ruins of the old Naga Empire, the Naga Dugushuang, who was curled up in a corner and looking for a sense of security, finally gradually quieted down. Then his body shrank bit by bit. From a few hundred meters to a few dozen meters, then a dozen meters. In the end, he became only 4 or 5 meters long. However, his appearance still seemed to be in the shape of a naga. However, gradually, the golden scales on his body began to fall off. He really began to shed his skin like a snake. The whole process gradually became a little painful. If he didn't shed his skin, the binding feeling became stronger and stronger. It was even suffocating him. Shedding his skin was really painful. The Naga Dugushuang began to swim with all his might, thrashing and grinding with all his might. He let the scales on his body peel off piece by piece, revealing the snow-white skin of a woman. Chapter 1026. Inside the pyramid, the Naga Shuang was painfully shedding the last layer of scales. Outside the pyramid, Queen Poisa watched the world turn upside down every day. The ruins of the old Naga Empire had shrunk into an irregular shape, like a malevolent and twisted planet. However, its surface still looked enormous and boundless. Because it couldn't reach a balance, the irregular shape of the ruins was constantly changing. Yesterday, a crystal mountain towered in front of her. Today, when she woke up, it might disappear and become a flat land. When she thought about it again tomorrow, it might become a huge abyss. Grandmasters. The world of the old ruins was changing every day. Queen Poisa even found that many pyramids were suddenly torn in half or crushed to pieces because of the 2 huge force fields. The pyramid she was residing in was very big, so she didn't have to worry about it for the time being. However, the Venomous Sand Queen discovered that 3 enormous force fields were slowly approaching from less than 1,000 miles away. When the 3 force fields collided with each other, the pyramid would be smashed into smithereens. The Naga Shuang was still inside the pyramid. The force fields of the ruins were so astonishing that even a towering mountain would be crushed in an instant. Naga wouldn't be able to withstand it. However, the Naga Shuang hadn't regained her consciousness yet, so Queen Poisa couldn't enter. If she entered again, the Naga Shuang would really take her life. One had to know that the final Naga Shuang would be very suspicious and cruel. Queen Poisa hoped that the Naga Shuang would be able to regain her human form and consciousness as soon as possible. She hoped that Shuang would complete her final transformation before the 3 force fields collided. Yang Dingtian left the Yin-Yang Mirror and entered the Demon Domain to search for the gas eye of the Empire of Darkness. He flew rapidly in the Yin-Yang Mirror for 2 days, but the entire Yin-Yang Mirror was exactly the same. He couldn't find the corresponding place above the Skirich imperial capital, so he had no choice but to enter the Demon Domain. The Empire of Darkness Skirich imperial capital had expended an unimaginable amount of energy to launch 2 Armageddon battles. They had also overdrawn the energy of several continents. The Yin-Yang Mirror was still fine. It just kept sinking. A world of ice and snow was still fine. It was just that the sky and earth gradually became indistinguishable. As for this demon domain, it was no different from hell. Compared to the infernal domain that Yang Dingtian had seen previously, it was already completely different. Countless hills were gone, and so were countless hard plains. The entire infernal domain was filled with signs of being torn apart. There were bottomless abyssal rifts everywhere. The original demon domain was already a land of death. Now it was even more devastated. Yang Dingtian flew above the infernal domain and carefully searched for that place. It seemed especially different. In the end, the boundless ground seemed to be different from each other. However, it was as if there was nothing different about each place. Why did he say that? Because the current demon domain's terrain was already extremely complicated. There were huge chasms and abysses everywhere, but was there any flat land that was completely intact? Yes, there was everywhere. There were black, red, white, and colorless ones. Some were as hard as steel, while others were as clear as crystals. When he saw a crystal ground with a diameter of tens of thousands of meters for the first time, Yang Dingtian was ecstatic. He thought that this was the eye of the Empire of Darkness and prepared to dig it out excitedly. This was because the crystal ground was perfectly round and emitted a special light. It was obvious at a glance that it was not an ordinary land. However, Yang Dingtian saw more than a dozen such crystal grounds in succession. Not to mention a complete circle, there were even vortexes and 8 trigrams. This demon domain was the strangest terrain. Under the effect of various energy fields, it was not strange at all that special crystals were produced. Next, Yang Dingtian saw even more strange grounds. There was a huge circular abyss that was completely bottomless. There was also a circular needle that suddenly stood tall and pierced the sky. It looked as if it was poked out of the imperial capital. The most exaggerated thing was that there was actually a lake in this terrifying demon domain. It was as clear as a mirror. When he touched the water in this lake again, he realized that it was as thick as a solid, but it did not leave any trace in his hand. In short, this demon domain was an extraordinary place. There were all kinds of strange things. It would be extremely difficult to find the eye of the Empire of Darkness in these countless strange places. However, there was no doubt that Prince Li Ming would not wait for Yang Dingtian. His killing spree had already begun. He avoided Cloud Sky City and the Heavenly Edict Academy because there would definitely be saint-level experts overseeing them. He killed from Railway Flame City all the way to Shijing and then to Northwest Qin City. Along the way, dozens of mid-level and high-level martial artists of the Council of Light were killed and hundreds were captured. The young master of the Divine Weapons Mountain Villa and the master of the Horror Mountain Villa, Zhao Mu, had both become Prince Li Ming's captives. These people appeared and disappeared unpredictably. Once they captured more than 3 people, they would immediately send them to the Empire of Darkness. Although there were only 3 people in total, 2 of them were saint-level and 1 was a peak half-saint. They would not stay in one place for too long. At this time, Vulture had already fallen out with them, so they did not hesitate to deliberately leave traces to attract people from the Council of Light to come and hunt them down. But soon, she was unable to do anything because the Infernal Queen, undead concubine, had knocked her unconscious. Fortunately, the distribution of the higher-ups of the Council of Light was now completely confidential. Prince Li Ming's venomous snake could only scurry around like a headless fly. He could not kill or capture according to the important list. It was completely based on luck to see who would be caught. But even so, the consequences were unimaginable. The Council of Light had already reported the dangerous operations of the evil ways to various departments, defense areas, and posts. They also agreed to let them come to Cloud Sky City to hide. Of course, there were people who went to Cloud Sky City to hide, but there were also people who stayed in their positions. This was because there were too many things to do in the Council of Light now. As long as they left, many things would stop, and the entire area would fall into chaos. So, although Prince Li Ming's evil plan was simple, it was very, very effective. From Iron Furnace City to Shijing, countless castles, units, and parts had fallen into chaos. On the various walls of the Council of Light, countless heads of the higher-ups of the Council of Light had been thrown. Many areas were completely in a state of panic. It could be said that if Prince Li Ming's actions were not stopped as soon as possible, the morale of the entire Council of Light would be extremely low. Many of the Council of Light's affairs would also fall into chaos. Furthermore, he could only watch helplessly as the evil Dao entered unhindered, slaughtering and capturing people. Many of the people in the Council of Light could not help but fall into a kind of resentment. Why didn't the higher-ups of the Council of Light send out saint-level experts to hunt down these evil ways? Why did they only send out those important people to guard Cloud Sky City? Why did they want these small people to die? The dignified Council of Light seemed to be riddled with holes, allowing these evil ways to come and go as they pleased. Of course, the Council of Light knew that they could not be led by the nose by Prince Li Ming. If that happened, the consequences would be even more terrifying. Moreover, almost all of the most important things and secrets were in Cloud Sky City. Now, there were a total of 3 saint-level experts. They could not lose the gate of the human kingdom. There had to be 2 saint-level experts almost at all times. And Cloud Sky City could not be lost either. There had to be 2 saint-level experts. So, without a choice, Neru had to constantly shuttle back and forth between Cloud Sky City and the Taboo Continent. She also had to prepare many substitutes to confuse the enemy. In short, the current Council of Light had almost completely sunk into a passive state of defense. They could not fight back when they were attacked. If this situation continued for half a month or even a month, the consequences would be unimaginable. Not to mention, there would be a large number of the Council of Light's backbone being killed and captured. Most importantly, the people's hearts would be lost. So, even though the higher-ups of the Council of Light were so angry that they almost vomited blood and wanted to rush up and perish together with the evil ways, they were not willing to sully themselves in Cloud Sky City. But Yang Dingtian's orders were clear. Anyone who could work in Cloud Sky City must stay in Cloud Sky City and must not leave. Most importantly, everyone in the Council of Light was not allowed to directly fight with the saint-level experts of the evil ways. Playing to one's strengths and avoiding one's weaknesses was a tactic that Crown Prince Li Ming used to its fullest potential. In just a few days, the entire human kingdom was jittery. Everyone was in a state of panic. Countless people were in a constant state of anxiety. And Yang Dingtian did not have any countermeasures. He did not even make a sound or show himself. Under the threat of death, a few people in the Council of Light were disappointed in Yang Dingtian and started to resent him. When the Queen Devil Queen saw that Prince Li Ming's strategy was so effective, she could not help but feel ashamed. She had made such a big fuss and started 2 world-ending wars, but in the end she was completely annihilated. And Li Ming's small actions had caused the entire Council of Light to be in a state of chaos. It was truly a case of using 4 tails to achieve 1,000 caddies. Li Ming and the other 2 went to the central continent and flew over the vast sea. "This island seems a little strange," Prince Li Ming said. Then he brought the Devil Queen and Dishi Bien to land on the island. Using the most violent method, he directly lifted the thick soil of the island and found a secret passage that was a few hundred meters deep. Prince Li Ming said happily, "This is a secret base of the Council of Light. There must be something very important inside." He guessed correctly. This was a secret research base of the Council of Light. What they were researching was the new generation of Crystal X formula. Of course, it was one of the secret bases. The reason why they had to research here was because there was a special energy field a few thousand meters below. The new Crystal X formula was especially stable in this energy field. Therefore, although this was a deserted island, they had no choice but to put the secret base here. Moreover, there were no more than 5 people who knew about this secret base. Unexpectedly, it was accidentally discovered by Prince Li Ming. Just as they were attacking the island, an ancient giant beast suddenly rushed out of the sea. It opened its bloody mouth and wanted to kill Prince Li Ming and the others. Dishi Bien immediately rushed forward. With his strength alone, he monopolized this ancient giant beast of the Mermaid Empire. Queen Devil Queen and Prince Li Ming used their fastest speed to kill their way into the secret passage. At the end of the secret passage was a huge energy array. This was the secret base's last line of defense. Even a saint-level powerhouse could not enter. Prince Li Ming sneered and then took a few steps back. Queen Devil Queen directly released the magic staff soul sword and fiercely drilled into the energy array. Every energy array had a solution, but people could not try to solve it. Because if they made a single mistake, they would be turned into ashes. However, the soul sword would be safe and sound because it was not a living thing. Therefore, it could be tried countless times. As long as there was enough time, the energy array could be solved. Just as the magic staff soul sword was trying various methods and was getting closer and closer to solving the energy array. Suddenly, a figure appeared in front of Queen Devil Queen. "No need to activate the energy array. I'm here." The one-armed Zhu Hongxue slowly walked out. This secret base was indeed important. It was actually guarded by Zhu Hongxue. Queen Devil Queen waved her hand and immediately retracted the magic staff. Zhu Hongxue directly walked out of the energy array and said, "Kill me, torture me, do whatever you want." Queen Devil Queen said, "The future master of the Black Heaven sect, Yang Dingtian's sworn brother, how could I bear to kill him?" She was indeed overjoyed. This Zhu Hongxue was indeed a big fish. With him as a hostage, the possibility of Yang Dingtian compromising and retreating greatly increased. She was about to give the order to capture Zhu Hongxue and then rush into the energy array. But at this moment, Prince Li Ming suddenly sneered and said, "Your Majesty Devil Queen, wake Vulture up." Devil Queen was stunned. She did not know why Li Ming was doing this, but she did as he said and woke Vulture up. Vulture woke up and was shocked to see the one-armed Zhu Hongxue. This Zhu Hongxue was her husband's sworn brother. He was very, very important. If he fell into the hands of evil ways, how could it be good? Prince Li Ming suddenly said, "Madam Vulture, people have to make many choices in their life. Some of them are very important, and once you make a choice, there is no way back." Vulture's expression changed dramatically when she heard this. Crown Prince Li Ming handed over a sharp sword and said, "So you have to make a choice now. Either you stay here and be humiliated by me. You can be raped here, or you can kill Yang Dingtian's sworn brother." Vulture turned pale when she heard Li Ming's words. These two things were a dead end for her. If she killed Yang Dingtian's sworn brother, then she would never be able to turn back and return to Yang Dingtian's side. And if she did not kill him, she would be raped and humiliated by Li Ming, this beast, which was equivalent to being destroyed once again. Vulture's beautiful eyes widened. She gritted her teeth and bled. "Quick, I will count to 10. I will take off my clothes as I count." Prince Li Ming sneered and counted down. He took off his clothes one by one. At this time, Yang Dingtian had searched all over the demon's domain, but he could not find the Qi. He was burning with anxiety. Moreover, he was completely disturbed by the strange scenes in the demon's domain. He immediately flew up into the sky. He flew higher and higher, higher and higher. Then he suddenly saw that the demon's domain had completely changed 10,000 meters in the sky. Looking down from the sky, the entire demon's domain seemed to be a huge whirlpool. Yang Dingtian was ecstatic. He found it. He found the Empire of Darkness's Qi. Chapter 1027. The higher Yang Dingtian flew, the clearer he could see. On the ground, those strange scenes, such as the crystal ground, the big crack, the lake that appeared out of thin air, and so on, all became pixels. These countless pixels formed a pattern, an incomparably huge vortex. Without a doubt, this was formed by the operation of the Empire of Darkness and the Skirich Emperor's capital over time. Looking from the sky, the center of the entire vortex was actually ordinary. It wasn't an anomaly that had been destroyed, nor was it an undamaged oasis. It was just ordinary ground, which was different from what Yang Dingtian had imagined. Yang Dingtian descended from the sky and landed directly at the center of this vortex. Then, he took out the near-emperor-grade soul sword and used his consciousness to control the soul sword to quickly dig in. In the blink of an eye, it dug deeper and deeper. Even without the sword's soul, the digging ability of this near-emperor-grade soul sword was extremely shocking. Dozens of kilometers, hundreds of kilometers, it dug down quickly. 1,000 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers. Then, the entire soul sword could no longer dig any further. Yang Dingtian quickly flew down and directly flew to the end of the tunnel. In front, the soul sword kept spinning, but it couldn't dig any further. Yang Dingtian went closer to take a look. The thing below looked like an ordinary rock and was pitch black in color. However, the soul sword couldn't do anything to it at all. This was another kind of energy substance. Although it also looked black, it wasn't dark matter because it didn't devour the soul sword. Dark matter didn't have any light, but this energy substance was black and dazzling. Yang Dingtian tried to attack it with the Naga royalty sword soul, but it didn't react at all. Yang Dingtian took out the eye of the primeval Naga. This gem could easily melt dark matter, but it couldn't do anything to this energy substance in front of him. Next, Yang Dingtian really poured in all his methods. He used the dark fire lightning to bombard it, burned it with the dark fire, and even devoured it with the dark fire. The energy substance in front of him remained unmoved. Furthermore, when Yang Dingtian used the darkness mystic flame to engulf, he clearly felt an endless stream of energy being engulfed. However, the black energy substance in front of him didn't change at all. Yang Dingtian was at his wit's end. However, it was also because of this that he was even more certain that this was the eye of the Empire of Darkness, the vital point of the entire Skirich imperial capital. If one had to use an analogy, this place was like the pivot point of the Skirich imperial capital. Therefore, this kind of material was especially strong, so strong that it was almost indestructible. Yang Dingtian only lasted for 2 hours in front of this substance before he immediately gave up. In the face of an unknown substance, the first thing to do was to make it known, and then think of a way to break through it. Without a doubt, the High Priest Association of Little Western Paradise was the most knowledgeable about unknown substances. Yang Dingtian left as fast as he could and used stones to bury the hole that he had dug out. Then he flew directly to the yin-yang mirror. In the yin-yang mirror, he opened a space door and jumped into the torn space. Then, he flew for tens of thousands of miles in the torn space and arrived at the connection between the torn space and the Little Western Paradise. After creating a space door and jumping out of the torn space, Yang Dingtian once again arrived at Mount Buzhou. This was Yang Dingtian's third time coming to Mount Buzhou. This time, he didn't even call for the door and directly entered. This was because he also had an energy key with him that could open the door to the High Priest Association. This was an extremely strict organization that rejected all outsiders. Even though Naru had stayed here for hundreds of years, she was still an outsider. However, this was an extremely undisciplined organization. Ever since Yang Dingtian was treated as one of their own, he didn't even need to ask for the consent of others. Yang Dingtian had obtained the energy key and was completely free to enter and leave. At this moment, the hull of the association was empty. Yang Dingtian immediately walked towards the Demon Fox High Priest's direction. He knocked lightly on the door. "Who is it? I'm not wearing any clothes. If there's nothing else, don't come in." The Demon Fox High Priest's voice came from inside. "It's me, Yang Dingtian." Yang Dingtian said. The stone door opened. Yang Dingtian thought for a while and turned around, waiting for the Demon Fox High Priest to put on her clothes. Unexpectedly, the Demon Fox High Priest went forward and pulled him in, then closed the door. Yang Dingtian entered and saw that it was filled with good wine and many books. They were all leisure books. The Demon Fox High Priest was lazily drinking wine while reading a book. These high priests were all racing against time to research their own direction. Things like drinking wine and reading books were completely unimaginable. Seeing Yang Dingtian's expression, the Demon Fox High Priest said, "It wasn't easy to solve the problem of the sword soul after working hard for hundreds of years. Of course, I have to relax." Then, the Demon Fox High Priest passed the wine in her hand to Yang Dingtian and drank from the bottle. Yang Dingtian drank it in one gulp. "What's the matter?" The Demon Fox High Priest said, "Are you here to bring me out?" Yang Dingtian said, "I don't dare to. I'm here to ask for help." "Did you win the World Extermination War?" The Demon Fox High Priest asked. "I won and I won twice." Yang Dingtian said. "What's the matter now? Do you need our help?" The Demon Fox High Priest asked. Yang Dingtian said, "I encountered a material. It's black, but it's not the darkness material. It's so black that it's shiny, and it looks like metal. However, it's immune to any damage. I used the mystic flame to burn it, lightning to strike it, and even the darkness mystic flame to devour it, but it's useless." Then Yang Dingtian said, "Oh right, when the darkness mystic flame devoured it, I felt an endless amount of energy being devoured, but the material didn't change at all." The Demon Fox High Priest said, "You know that my research doesn't include these mysterious materials." Yang Dingtian said, "I know, but there might be records of these materials in the association's library." The demon fox high priest said, "Let's just find someone. Many people's research might not be in the library." Then, she put on her clothes and dragged Yang Dingtian to knock on the door. The demon fox knocked on Fire Dance's stone door. She didn't know martial arts, but she was the leader of the High Priest Association. This woman wasn't at the top in terms of academics, and she wasn't at the top in terms of martial arts either. She became the leader of the association because she was fierce and righteous, and she was extremely beautiful. Most of the men in the High Priest Association had a crush on her. Another important reason was that she knew how to fight, and she was ruthless when fighting. She seemed to be meditating, so knocking on the door couldn't wake her up. Therefore, the demon fox rang the meditation energy bell. This bell was directly connected to the inside, and it could wake up the priest who was meditating. However, there was a huge responsibility to ring this bell. It had to be something very important to ring this bell. After the bell was rung, Fire Dance's fierce and sexy voice sounded from inside. "No matter who you are, you better have a good reason. Otherwise, you're finished." Fire Dance's voice was still so powerful and hot. Then, the stone door opened, and a woman who was as beautiful as fire and couldn't be looked at directly appeared in front of Yang Dingtian and the demon fox high priest. "Oh, it's you. What's the matter? You haven't left yet?" Fire Dance looked at Yang Dingtian. Yang Dingtian said, "I've already left, but I came back to ask for help." "What's the matter? Speak," Fire Dance said. She was still so righteous. Yang Dingtian told her about his matter, and he couldn't help but feel uneasy. Because to the High Priest Association, asking to identify a special energy substance was completely a small matter. It wasn't right to use this matter to disturb someone's meditation. After finishing her statement, Fire Dance didn't say anything else and immediately pulled Yang Dingtian towards a place. "I'm not familiar with the mysterious energy substance. But there's one person I'm familiar with. Although this silent tribe member is an idiot, he definitely knows the most about the mysterious energy substance." Hua Wu pulled Yang Dingtian and walked into the deepest part of these caves. Then, she didn't care whether the people inside were meditating or not, and directly rang the bell. Moreover, she didn't just ring it once, but kept ringing it impatiently. Soon, the stone door opened, and a silent tribe member that Yang Dingtian had never seen before walked out. This silent tribe member was very white and very thin, as if he had never seen the sun before. The silent tribe member's waist was originally slightly bent, but this silent tribe member in front of him was completely hunchbacked. However, his appearance was also very delicate. Therefore, he looked very strange. A hunchbacked handsome man from the silent tribe? Moreover, Yang Dingtian had never seen him before. When all the members of the High Priest Association had a meeting last time, he wasn't present. This was because he would always abstain, so there was no need for him to express his opinion. There's a special energy substance that's extremely black, but it's not a dark substance. It has a shiny reflection light, like metal. Mystic fire doesn't burn it, darkness mystic fire doesn't devour it, lightning strike doesn't work, and primeval nagas I melted it also doesn't work. However, when the darkness profound flame devours, there is an unending flow of energy. However, this mysterious energy substance does not have any reaction at all. Fire Dance did not exchange pleasantries and directly asked, "Do you know what this is?" This hunchbacked silent tribe member didn't seem to be in a trance from meditation. He was groggy as if he hadn't woken up yet. When he heard Fire Dance's questions, it took him a long time to react. Then he nodded and said, "I know." "Then tell me," Fire Dance said. The hunchbacked silent tribe member said, "This thing, I call it a refraction substance. Mystic fire doesn't burn it because it's a kind of energy. Darkness mystic fire devours an endless flow of energy because it doesn't have any energy itself. It's just a kind of energy conductor. Moreover, it's the best energy conductor. It can conduct any kind of energy and there's almost no loss." When it came to his specialty, the hunchbacked silent tribe member said, "We all know that there are many kinds of energy that can't be transmitted. For example, corrosive energy. Most conductors will be destroyed. For example, the high temperature of millions of mystic fire can't be transmitted. For example, some dark energy and so on. Therefore, it needs a very, very special thing that can transmit any kind of energy. Then, the hunchbacked silent clan member started rummaging through the pile of stone in his room. As he searched, he said, "And we know that there's a kind of energy crystal that can store most kinds of energy, including darkness crystals, undead magic crystals, and so on, including unfreezing water. It's not because it's very powerful, but because its surface will form an absolute void layer. This void layer is created by a kind of energy magnetic field filling each other." Then, this hunchbacked silent tribe member finally found an energy box. He opened it directly and said, "Here, this is a refractor. I got it from an ancient secret realm." Yang Dingtian couldn't help but be stunned when he saw it. The mysterious substance he saw in the depths of the demonic realm's vortex was black and shiny. But this thing in front of him was snow white? The hunchbacked silent tribe member said, "This kind of refractor compresses the magnetic field energy on the surface of the energy crystal infinitely. It compresses tens of thousands of feet into less than half an inch, turning invisible into visible. Originally, this kind of void almost doesn't conduct any energy. But because of the extreme increase in density, it almost doesn't conduct any energy to conduct any energy with zero loss, and it's absolutely indestructible." Yang Dingtian looked at the thing inside the energy jade box carefully. Although the color was different, everything else was exactly the same. The hunchbacked silent tribe member said, "This refractor originally didn't have any color. Whatever environment it is in, it will show the same color." Yang Dingan understood and then said, "Is it really completely indestructible?" The hunchbacked silent tribe member said, "How can you destroy a complete void?" Yang Dingtian was stunned. Yes, how could a pure void be destroyed? And this refractor was like an infinite void energy field compressed into a condensed energy conductor. "Don't you have any way?" Fire Dance questioned. The hunchbacked silent tribe member shook his head and said, "I really don't have a way. I've tried for hundreds of years and used countless methods to change it, but I can't do it at all." Yang Dingtan asked, "Then, is there any way in theory?" The hunchbacked silent tribe member said, "In theory, there is a way, but it's meaningless. Because this method surpasses the refractor academically by who knows how many levels." "Don't talk nonsense. Speak." Fire Dance scolded. "Spatial technique." The hunchbacked silent tribe member said, "Use spatial technique to enter this refractor and cut open many isolated spaces inside to destroy its conductive function." Immediately, there was silence. The hunchbacked silent tribe member said, "As I said, this method is equivalent to no method. Spatial technique is the peak of the entire world's learning. It can't be achieved." Yang Dingtian was about to speak, but Fire Dance grabbed him and left without looking back. "Continue meditating." Fire Dance left and closed the door. After walking away, Yang Dingtian said in confusion, "Senior Fire Dance, I clearly know spatial technique." Fire Dance said, "That idiot, if you know that you know spatial technique, you won't be able to leave. He'll use all kinds of methods to pester you, and you won't be able to shake him off." Yang Dingan was stunned and said, But isn't this not very good? You're still too thin-skinned." Fire Dance said, "All right, you've got the method. You're pressed for time, so I won't keep you." "Thank you, Senior Fire Dance." Yang Dingtian bowed and said, "Why don't you try calling me Senior again?" Fire Dance frowned. Yang Dingan bowed again and said, "Thank you, Miss Fire Dance." Fire Dance nodded and said, "Next time you come, don't look for the fox spirit first. Just knock on my door." Yang Dingtian. Then, after bidding farewell to the fox spirit priest, Yang Dingtian left Mount Buzhou as quickly as possible. He was racing against time. Every second that was delayed was detrimental to the Radiant Council. He wanted to give the entire evil ways, the entire empire of darkness, a fatal blow as soon as possible. The scene returned to the secret base on the isolated island. Prince Li Ming was counting down while taking off his clothes. Vulture finally couldn't hold it in anymore. Her delicate body trembled as she cried. Either kill Zhu Hongxue or be humiliated by Li Ming. She didn't want to choose either, but doing nothing was also a choice. Soon, Prince Li Ming counted to 10. It seems that you can't kill Zhu Hongxue. You want to rape me? Then I won't be polite. Prince Li Ming walked forward ferociously. The Azura spirit vulture mustered all of its courage and prepared to strike. But in the end, she found that she couldn't even lift a finger. Because the Queen Devil Queen suppressed every inch of her profound veins. Suddenly, her delicate body was covered with ice. She was reborn with great difficulty and became proud and beautiful. Now, she was going to fall into the abyss again. Being humiliated by a beast like Li Ming, she really couldn't wash it away for the rest of her life. Although she knew that Yang Dingtian wouldn't blame her and would treat her better. But for Vulture, her nobility was completely destroyed. What was the difference between a woman who had been humiliated and the one who had been tortured by Dongli? It meant that she would return to darkness. But she didn't want to kill Zhu Hongxue. Perhaps obtaining this perfect body and possessing a powerful cultivation base was just a dream. Vulture's heart was incomparably sad and even gave up on herself. At this moment, Zhu Hongxue suddenly said slowly, "Madam, you don't have to choose, but don't forget this moment today." Bang! Zhu Hongxue's chest and abdomen exploded. His profound veins didn't explode, but the crystal hidden in his body exploded. In order to protect the secret of the crystal's formula, he chose to come out and deal with the Devil Queen. But he absolutely didn't want to become a captive, so he chose the most decisive path. At the same time, the secret base behind him suddenly collapsed and shattered into pieces. Countless crazy beasts rushed in crazily. Chapter 1028. In fact, the next generation formula of Crystal X was priceless in the eyes of the Council of Light. It was a complete strategic secret. However, in the eyes of the evil ways, it might not be valued much. Even if they discovered it, they might just be interested in it and might not develop it vigorously. However, Zhu Hongxue was in charge of this secret base. He had to completely protect this strategic secret and not leak it, even if he had to pay with his life. Therefore, when the Queen Devil Queen's sword soul wand was trying to crack the energy array, the secret base inside had already begun to destroy all the information, all the finished products, and semi-finished products. Then, it immediately opened the final escape route. But all of this needed time. Therefore, Zhu Hongxue walked out and dealt with the people of the evil ways. When he made this decision, he had no intention of living. He knew that in front of the experts of the evil ways, it was impossible for him to kill himself with his cultivation. Therefore, he swallowed a small crystal bomb early and had already activated a delayed detonation. As long as the time was up, he would completely blow himself up. Finally, he had stalled for enough time. Everything in the secret base had been completely destroyed. The water channel at the back door exploded, and the energy array was removed. At this time, the underwater monsters of the Mermaid Empire had already swarmed over. They took many warlocks and fled as fast as they could. More underwater monsters came forward to besiege the Queen Devil Queen, Prince Li Ming, and the others. The moment she saw Zhu Hongxue self-destruct, Vulture trembled all over, and then couldn't help but scream loudly. She didn't even know why she was screaming. She was a greedy and selfish person, a person who was vain and afraid of death. However, when the naked righteousness and sacrifice appeared in front of her in blood, it still gave her an incomparable shock. In this world, there were really such stupid people who would rather die to help others. In Vulture's heart, Zhu Hongxue didn't die to protect the secret at all, nor did he die to become a captive. In her heart, Zhu Hongxue died for her. In order not to make things difficult for her, and to protect her chastity, Zhu Hongxue chose to die. And she had nothing to do with him. It was only because she was Yang Dingtian's woman. Just by having this identity, there were people willing to die for him. The shock this brought to Spirit Vulture was unparalleled. She couldn't help but charge straight at Zhu Hongxue. She and Zhu Hongxue could be considered as sworn siblings, but there was almost no friendship between them. In fact, Vulture had almost forgotten that she and Zhu Hongxue were sworn siblings. She was a snobbish person and only had eyes for the most prominent people. Everyone from the Council of Light was just a symbol in her heart. she only had eyes for Yang Dingtian. However, at this moment, she truly felt that this one-armed man in front of her was like a family member. Therefore, she couldn't help but rush forward and cry. However, there was another person who was faster than her. It was Prince Li Ming. He rushed forward like lightning, desperately stuffing pills into Zhu Hongshue's mouth. However, Zhu Hongshue's stomach had already exploded. How could he swallow it? The Devil Queen stepped forward and used extremely cold energy to freeze him in an instant. Zhu Hongxue was Yang Dingtian's sworn brother and a very important hostage. How could Li Ming be willing to let him die? Quick, 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 return to the Empire of Darkness. Before his soul leaves his body, use the evil spirit to save him. Prince Li Ming said. Then, the three of them no longer cared about the crazily charging underwater behemoths. They directly took Vulture and Zhu Hongxue out of the sea and flew north at the fastest speed. After entering the Empire of Darkness, Prince Li Ming immediately found Wu Dozi. He still had a third-class evil spirit under his banner that had not been given out. Under Li Ming's order, Wu Daozi couldn't ask why and directly introduced the third-class evil spirit into Zhu Hongshue's body. The energy of the third-class evil spirit first enveloped Zhu Hongshue's head, then spread along the blood vessels into the heart, and then from the heart down to the Sea of Qi. However, Zhu Hongshue's entire abdomen had already exploded. When the evil spirit energy reached the Sea of Qi in the abdomen, it stopped. This was because almost all the blood vessels and Shen meridians were broken. Seeing this, Prince Li Ming's face couldn't help but sink. Zhu Hongxue was dead, and he had lost the most valuable hostage at the moment. Prince Li Ming wanted to use Zhu Hongxue to exchange for Dongli and all the evil spirit warriors. That's right, he was very greedy. However, who asked Yang Dingtian to be so loyal? If Yang Dingtian didn't agree, then he would be hypocritical, and the hearts of the Council of Light would dissipate a little. Finally, the third-class evil spirit energy found a remnant Shen meridian in the most remote corner of the sea, leading to the Sea of Qi. Then the evil spirit energy poured into the broken Sea of Qi. Then the powerful evil spirit energy repaired the Sea of Qi bit by bit, healing the broken Shen meridians inch by inch. This scene was quite sci-fi and mysterious. Countless Shen meridian energy threads were like weaving cloth, growing out one by one. Finally, the destroyed Shen meridians and blood vessels were completely rebuilt. Then bones, muscles, and skin all grew out. After a full 2 hours, Zhu Hongxue was already intact. Then, his body suddenly trembled and he opened his eyes. At first glance, he saw Prince Li Ming and Wu Dozi. His face suddenly changed and he said in horror, You planted the evil spirit energy in me? No need to thank us. Prince Li Ming sneered. But you will die a horrible death, a horrible death. Zhu Hongxue roared loudly. With the third-class evil spirit, your cultivation has increased a lot. Instead of thanking me, you curse me. What do you mean? Li Ming sneered. The furious Zhu Hongxue suddenly condensed his Shen meridians and Sea of Qi, and then was about to self-destruct. Boom. The self-destruction was successful. However, just as the first hole was torn in the Sea of Qi, the evil spirit energy immediately rushed up and completely repaired it. He suddenly rushed like lightning and slammed his head into the wall not far away. Prince Li Ming did not stop him. Bang! A loud sound. Zhu Hongshue's head was directly blown open, and his skull was smashed and flew away. However, under the protection of the evil spirit energy, his brain was still safe and sound. Immediately after, the smashed skull was quickly restored. Even his jet-black hair was completely undamaged. At this time, even if he wanted to die, he could not. The furious Zhu Hongxue was like a wild beast, roaring crazily. After a long time, he calmed down and said slowly, Okay, you don't have to waste your effort, I will not surrender. What delicious food do you have, and what peerless beauty to corrupt me? Just come, I will definitely not refuse. Prince Li Ming immediately clapped hard and said, What a loyal warrior, but don't worry, Zhu Hongxue. I have never thought of asking you to surrender. First, we don't lack you, and second, I know you will not surrender. I just want to use you to exchange some things with your sect master Yang Dingtian." When these words came out, Zhu Hongshue's expression changed dramatically, and he said sternly, "Don't even think about it. I will definitely not let the sect master sacrifice anything for me." Crown Prince Li Ming said, "That's not up to you to decide. Your sect master is a hypocrite. If you don't agree, wouldn't it ruin his reputation? So even if you swallow your anger, you will still agree. However, after you go back, I'm afraid your life will be difficult. You will be seen as a thorn in his side, a thorn in his flesh." Then, Prince Li Ming said, "Even if you want to die, you can't die. What other choice do you have?" Zhu Hongxue immediately closed his eyes in pain and lay on the bed, not saying a word. At this time, Shura Vulture was curled up in her room. The scene of Zhu Hongxue exploding herself kept replaying in her mind. And the entire Empire of Darkness, this gorgeous room of hers, became incomparably disgusting, dirty, and disgusting. She couldn't stay for a moment longer. She wanted to leave this place every minute and return to Yang Dingtian's side. Then she and Yang Dingtian would return together and carry out the cruelest revenge on everyone here. "Li Ming, one day I will make you beg for death." At this time, Yang Dingtian didn't stop. He flew through the torn space, then entered the yin-yang mirror, and finally flew above the demon domain. Originally, he was worried that the cave he dug on the demon domain would be discovered by the evil ways. In the end, he was completely overthinking. In fact, although the evil ways occupied the Empire of Darkness, they didn't know the principles of the Empire of Darkness. Therefore, they might not know about this evil ways gas eye. Yang Dingtian dug the entrance of the gas eye again. This time, he only needed to dig 1,000 meters because after he left, he only buried the top 1,000 meters. Yang Dingtian followed the tunnel that he dug and flew directly into the depths of the Earth's core. After flying for more than 2,000 kilometers, he finally arrived at the bottom. In front of him was the bending object that the hunchbacked silent race mentioned. It was the pivot point of the entire Skirich imperial capital and was also the energy conductor. The mystic vein essence was the best energy conductor, but it couldn't be destroyed by humans. This bending object was an energy body formed by the compression of the field of nothingness on the energy crystals. It was completely unbreakable. Even the darkness mystic flame couldn't do anything because it didn't contain energy. It was only a conductor of energy. However, because it was infinitely compressed, it seemed to be formless yet tangible. Therefore, nothing could pass through it. The ancient civilization chose it as the pivot point of the Skirich imperial capital, which could be said to be the most perfect result. Other than the spatial technique, there was probably no other way to destroy it. Yang Dingtian immediately used the darkness mystic flame to create a dark vortex. Soon, a small isolated space was formed under the effect of the black hole. Next, he had to figure out how to guide the isolated space into the folding object. Yang Dingtian used his mystic chi to drive it. Instantly, the dark vortex approached the gas eye of the Skirich imperial capital. What could enter the nothingness? The dark vortex was an existing substance. Of course, it couldn't enter. However, the isolated space was a kind of nothingness. Naturally, it could be entered. A space suddenly entered the deflector of the Qi Eye, and the Qiankuan inside was instantly thrown into chaos. Boom! In an instant, the entire demon domain collapsed. Chapter 1029. It was truly an earth-shattering scene. Originally, although the demon realm was constantly being devoured, it had also entered an extremely strange balance. Now, this balance was destroyed. Suddenly, Yang Dingtian clearly felt a series of loud noises. Then, the surrounding land crazily crowded and collided together. Countless cracks were torn open, and countless pieces of land fiercely collided together. In an instant, a powerful energy aura surged into the sky. The entire demon realm, the world of ice and snow, and even the yin-yang mirror underwent a shocking change. But this wasn't the most terrifying thing. The most terrifying thing was that the Skirich imperial capital in the Empire of Darkness stopped rotating. At this moment, Prince Li Ming was constantly attacking Zhu Hongshue's heart. Suddenly, the entire Skirich imperial capital shook. Almost all of them were sent flying out. Then, it was as if there was a power outage. All the light in the Skirich imperial capital was extinguished. Almost at the same time, the light in the countless dark castles in the surrounding area was extinguished. The refining and fusion formations all stopped and lost their brilliance. Then, a suffocating energy pressure spread. There was originally no air in the Empire of Darkness. It was the Skirich imperial capital that continuously absorbed energy and mystic chi from the outside world to supply the entire Skirich imperial capital. As for the lights inside, they were all powered by crystals, and they all needed energy. Not only that, but the surrounding temperature was also rapidly rising. In short, everyone present felt an extremely frightening sense of discomfort. Li Ming was shocked. He looked at the Devil Queen. Could it be that something had happened to the Empire of Darkness? At this moment, Yang Dingtian only needed to confirm that he could use the spatial technique to isolate the energy conduction of the refractor and deal a fatal blow to the Empire of Darkness. He immediately stopped the transmission of mystic chi. Instantly, the dark vortex stopped, and the isolated space automatically disappeared. Then, the refractor resumed its energy conduction. The entire Skirich imperial capital began to rotate again. The entire Empire of Darkness regained its energy supply. All the lights in the Skirich imperial capital lit up, and all the dark castles recovered their energy. The surrounding temperature once again dropped to a comfortable level. As for Yang Dingtian, he used his fastest speed to return to Cloud Sky City. He wanted to ensure that the Council of Light suffered a great loss this time, and then he would plan how to force the evil ways to make concessions. Seeing that the Skirich imperial capital had returned to normal, Prince Li Ming let out a long sigh of relief. Perhaps this was just a normal procedure in the operation cycle of the Empire of Darkness. Then, Prince Li Ming continued to take out the recording jade and recorded Zhu Hongshue's current situation. Zhu Hongxue, do you want to have a few words with your sect leader Yang Dingtian? Prince Li Ming asked with a smile. Zhu Hongxue closed his eyes and ignored him. Prince Li Ming curled his lips into a smile, not caring at all. After recording an image jade, he put it away. Then, she said to the Devil Queen, it's time to talk to Yang Dingnan and make a deal. Yang Dingtian returned to Cloud Sky City as fast as he could and got the list of the Council of Light's losses in the past few days. 129 people, including 2 great masters, 11 masters, 45 martial venerables, and the rest were all martial grandmasters. Some people, half of them, were already dead because their heads were hanging on the Council of Light's castle. Half of them were captured. 2 people were captured, and the 3 most important people were Zhu Hongxue, the young master of the Mystic Sky sect, Chou Yiming, the young master of the Divine Weapons Villa, and Zhao Mu, the master of the Horror Mountain Villa. Although the losses were not very great, Yang Dingtian's heart still twitched with pain. On the other hand, the entire Radiant Parliament was frowning. Everyone in the evil ways was hiding in the Empire of Darkness. The Council of Light was completely helpless. The evil ways that came out to hunt were all martial saints and peak half-saints. In addition, they had evil spirit energy, so they could not be killed. Moreover, they appeared and disappeared unpredictably, so the Council of Light was completely helpless. In the long run, the consequences would be unimaginable. Either the Council of Light would stop operating, and the entire human country would fall into chaos. Or more and more of the Council of Light's backbone would be captured and hunted down. It could be said that it was almost completely unsolvable. Therefore, the moment Yang Dingtian landed in Cloud Sky City, almost all of the Council of Light's higher-ups rushed up and asked Yang Dingtian when he would attack the Empire of Darkness. Yang Dingtian looked at everyone and saw that their expressions were filled with anger and anxiousness. Come in, let's have a meeting. Yang Dingtian walked into the castle. First of all, my attack on the Empire of Darkness has been successful. It's completely destructive, Yang Dingtian said. When these words came out, everyone present was shocked. The Empire of Darkness was so powerful and completely unsolvable, but he had actually succeeded in attacking it? This was too unbelievable. The mermaid Queen Violet said, "How did you do it?" Yang Dingtian said, "All of the Empire of Darkness's energy relies on the rotation of the Skirich imperial capital to absorb a few pieces of land. And I just happened to be able to interrupt its energy transmission, causing the entire Empire of Darkness to stagnate. Once the energy supply is lost, the entire Empire of Darkness will completely collapse." When these words came out, everyone was overjoyed. "Then there's no need to wait. Immediately destroy the Empire of Darkness and completely eliminate the evil ways," many people said excitedly. Yang Dingtian said, "And what we want to discuss is this matter. Should we destroy the Empire of Darkness?" When these words came out, many people present fell into a state of shock. The Empire of Darkness was the headquarters of the evil ways. Of course, it had to be destroyed. Without the Empire of Darkness, the evil ways were like stray dogs with nowhere to hide. Yang Dingtian said, "First of all, who is our main enemy?" "Of course it's the evil ways." "It's the Temple of Annihilation," many people said. Yang Dingtian said, "Yes, of course it's the Temple of Annihilation. To be more specific, our enemies are the Demon King Wenian, Queen Devil Queen, Prince Li Ming, Princess Mudan, and the evil spirit Dishibian. To be more precise, it's all the evil ways above the half-saint level. As long as these people gather together, we can't kill or capture them. Even if they leave the Empire of Darkness, we can't do anything. The only ones we can capture and imprison in the energy prison are the evil ways below the half-saint level. But these people are no threat to us now because they are hiding in the Empire of Darkness." Qin Wancho said, "That's right. Our weakness now is the entire Council of Light's mid-level and high-level martial artists. They can be hunted down by the evil ways at any time. Evil ways' weakness is the evil spirit warriors below the half-saint level. As long as they appear, we can capture them at any time. And if we destroy the Empire of Darkness, it won't have much impact on the higher-ups of the evil ways. Even if we capture all the half-saint evil spirit warriors, they will only lose their claws and teeth. Instead, they won't have any weaknesses." Yang Dingtian said, "Or to be more direct, as long as the Demon King Wenian, Queen Devil Queen are still around, destroying the Empire of Darkness is not worth the loss. Moreover, the Empire of Darkness is almost no threat to us now. The Legion of Doom is finished, and so is the Undead Army. The Empire of Darkness no longer has any offensive attributes. It's just a nest." As soon as he said this, everyone present fell into silence. In the end, Yang Dingtian said, "So, I feel that keeping the Empire of Darkness is more useful than destroying it." Many people present nodded in agreement after thinking it through. Yang Dingtian said, "We have dozens of captives in the hands of the evil ways, including Zhu Hongxue, Chou Yiming, Zhao Mu, and the others. In Prince Li Ming's eyes, Zhu Hongxue is not only the Black Sky Sect's young master, but also my sworn brother. So, he will probably stop attacking and propose a trade with us. This person is extremely greedy. If I'm not wrong, he will propose to use Zhu Hongxue alone in exchange for Dongli and all the evil spirit warriors' hostages." Everyone present nodded. Although this trade was very unfair, Prince Li Ming would definitely do it. Who asked Yang Dingtian to care more about his subordinates? Justice was the motto of the just. Despicableness was the passport of the despicable. If Yang Dingtian did not have the ability to destroy the Empire of Darkness, then no matter how unfair this trade was, he could only grit his teeth and agree. Who asked Yang Dingtian to really care about the lives of his subordinates? Yang Dingtian said, "However, we now have the ability to destroy the Empire of Darkness. So, not only do we have to let the evil ways release all the hostages, but we also have to make them hand over Vulture and Willingzi." After saying that, Yang Dingtian said to Qin Wancho, "City Lord Qin, do you think this trade will succeed?" Qin Wancho thought for a while and shook his head. "I don't know if it will succeed. If it's the Queen Devil Queen, it definitely won't succeed. Because this person is straightforward and cares about face. If it's Prince Li Ming, this person is extremely cunning and is especially thorough about benefits, so he definitely won't do a losing deal. Yang Dingtian nodded. Moreover, destroying the Empire of Darkness was like using a nuclear weapon. The greatest power of a nuclear weapon was that it stayed on the launcher. Once it was launched, it would lose its power. On Earth, almost all nuclear weapons had no chance to be used. It was just a deterrent. At this moment, Zhao Liao came to report. Prince Li Ming has come to visit. He requests for a meeting with Sect Master Yang Dingtian. They came so quickly. Everyone present said. How many of them came? Yang Dingtian asked. 3, Zhao Liao said. Okay, then the 3 of us will go and see him, Yang Dingtian said. After a while, Yang Dingtian, Violets, and Neru, 1 half-sage and 2 saint-level experts, flew towards the north. In the land of chaos, 1,000 miles away from Cloud Sky City, a pavilion appeared. Inside, there was a long table with 3 people sitting at it. Prince Li Ming, Queen Devil Queen, and Dishi Bian. Yang Dingtian and the other 2 landed in the pavilion and sat opposite the evil ways. I know that dozens of us have fallen into your hands. Among them are Zhu Hongxue, Chou Yiming, and Zhao Mu. Yang Dingtian said directly, What do you want? Speak. Good, straightforward. Prince Li Ming clapped and laughed. What we want is to release Dong Li and all the evil warriors, and give up the door to the human kingdom. As soon as he said this, Yang Dingtian and the other 2's expressions changed. Chapter 1030. Previously, Yang Dingtian had already guessed that Dong Li wanted to exchange for Dong Li and all the evil spirit martial artists. He didn't expect Dong Li to be so greedy and even wanted to return to the human kingdom's door. He knew that Li Ming was greedy, but he did not expect him to be this greedy. After a while, Yang Dingtian could not help but laugh. Your Excellency Li Ming, is there no room for discussion? Crown Prince Li Ming laughed. It's not like you're a street vendor who haggles when buying groceries. Yang Dingtian said, All right, I have a condition too. Prince Li Ming said, Please speak. Yang Dingtian said, Release Zhu Hongxue, Chou Yiming, Zhao Mu, and all the other council of light hostages unconditionally. Hand over Vulture and Wilingzi unconditionally. Otherwise, bear the consequences. Crown Prince Li Ming was stunned when he heard this. He couldn't help but dig at his ears. Did he hear it wrong? Or was Yang Dingtian dreaming? Li Ming knew that he was asking for too much, but he would not change his words. He bet that Yang Dingtian cared a lot about the lives of his subordinates. But he did not expect that Yang Dingtian's price would be even worse than his. He actually wanted to release Zhu Hongxue and the others unconditionally. Was Yang Dingtian crazy? Prince Li Ming shook his head in disappointment. Yang Dingtian, I always thought that you were a wise man. I didn't expect you to be such a fool. What's the point of this? Yang Dingtian shook his head. I'm not joking. My condition is to release Zhu Hongxue, Chou Yiming, and Zhao Mu unconditionally. Also, I want you to hand over Vulture and Wilingzi unconditionally. Yang Dingtian emphasized once again that it was unconditional. Prince Li Ming's eyes turned cold. Yang Ding, there is a price for treating me like a fool. I know. Yang Dingtian said, there is a price for everything. Prince Li Ming said, you want me to hand over the hostages, Vulture, and Wilingzi. What are you willing to pay? Yang Dingtian said, let the terrifying consequences of evil ways not happen. This is what I'm willing to pay. Haha. Crown Prince Li Ming laughed loudly. You want me to suffer terrible consequences? What consequences? I want to hear it. Yang Dingtian said, your nest is the calamity of the Darkness Empire. Haha. Prince Li Ming couldn't hold it in anymore. He clutched his stomach and laughed crazily. Yang Dingtian, oh Yang Dingtian, do you know how powerful the Empire of Darkness is? You know that the Empire of Darkness was created by the ancient civilization. You know that the Empire of Darkness's power comes from several continents. Let alone you, even the half-sage Naga can't do anything to the Empire of Darkness. Even the half-sage Naga has a slim chance of survival after entering the Empire of Darkness, let alone a mere half-sage like you. Immediately after, Crown Prince Li Ming said, Yang Ding, Have you been overwhelmed by the recent series of victories and become even more foolish? Then, without waiting for Yang Dingtian to reply, Prince Li Ming stood up and said, "All right, since that's the case, there's nothing to talk about. I told you that there would be consequences for your foolish actions. Just wait and see. I'll think of a way to make you sober up and talk to you again. Yang Dingnan, I roughly know what you'll do. But I'll also tell you that my revenge on you will be truly destructive." "Is that so?" Prince Li Ming said disdainfully, "I'd like to see it." "Yang Dingnan, not long ago, when you were in the Empire of Darkness, I think you've already seen it." Prince Li Ming recalled the incident a few hours ago when the Empire of Darkness's power suddenly stopped. He suddenly understood. That's right, there must be a spy in the Empire of Darkness who used a very mysterious method to inform Yang Dingtian of the Skirich imperial capital's power suspension. As for Yang Dingtian, he had coveted the credit and claimed it as his own. Furthermore, he had used it to threaten the evil Dao. How laughable, how laughable, how laughable. It was clearly a problem with the Empire of Darkness's normal operating procedures, but in the end, it was forcefully said that it was caused by Yang Dingtian. Could there be anything more shameless than this? Immediately, Prince Li Ming was even more certain of Yang Dingtian's strategic blackmail. Then he looked straight at him and said, "Yang Ding, I'm very angry, and the consequences are very serious. You'll see it soon." "Yang Dingnan, if I'm angry, the consequences will be even more serious. You'll see it soon too." Prince Li Ming didn't say anything else and directly left with the Queen Devil Queen and Dishi Bian, returning to the Empire of Darkness. After the Evil Ways trio left, Yang Dingtian used his fastest speed to head to the vortex core of the demon domain. Prince Li Ming returned to the Empire of Darkness and immediately went to Zhu Hongxue. "Your sect master Yang Dingtian rejected my deal. It seems that your position in his heart isn't as high as I thought." Li Ming laughed. Zhu Hongxue closed his eyes and ignored him, as if he didn't hear it. Prince Li Ming said, "In order to clear his mind, I need something to show him." Then his gaze fell on Zhu Hongxue's two arms. "Zhu Hongxue, you should be grateful to me. One of your arms was cut off, but my evil spirit energy helped you recover." Crown Prince Li Ming said, "But Yang Dingtian doesn't know about this. So, if I were to chop off your left arm and give it to him, he would definitely be very upset because he would think that both your arms are broken." After saying that, Shua, Prince Li Ming suddenly slashed down with his sword. Immediately, Zhu Hongxue's right arm was cut off, and blood spurted out. Zhu Hongxue's face twitched, but his eyes were still closed, and he didn't make any sound. Soon, the evil spirit energy grew new veins, new bones, and finally muscles and skin. His right arm was once again intact. Prince Li Ming shook Zhu Hongxue's broken arm and said, "It's best that your sect master has a deep enough friendship with you, or else he won't recognize your arm." After cutting off Zhu Hongxue's arm, Prince Li Ming walked to the room where Zhao Mu was locked up. If Zhu Hongxue was still holding back his emotions, then Zhao Mu was truly expressionless. He sat there cross-legged like an old monk. "Zhao Mu, right?" Prince Li Ming said, "Sorry, your role is too small. I haven't seen you before, this is the first time we've met." Zhao Mu opened his eyes. Even when he saw a broken arm, his face was almost expressionless. Prince Li Ming said, "I made a deal with your sect master, intending to exchange you for Dongli, but he refused. In order to clear his mind, I need a part of your body. This is Zhu Hongxue's right arm. However, he has the evil spirit energy, so it will quickly grow back. As for you, your level is too low, giving you the evil spirit energy would be a waste, so I didn't give it to you." Zhao Mu was still expressionless. Prince Li Ming said, "Do you know what it means to have no evil spirit energy?" Zhao Mu said, "Arms, legs, head, or other parts, after being cut off, they can never grow back." Prince Li Ming said, "That's right." Zhao Mu said, "Then which part of me do you want to cut off? I'll cooperate. If you want to cut off my manhood, I'll take off my belt." Prince Li Ming said, "That's not necessary, just cut off the arm. If Yang Dingtian's mind is not clear, it's not too late to look at other parts." "That's fine." Zhao Mu directly stretched out his right arm and said, "Let's see." During the whole process, Zhao Mu's expression was completely calm, as if what was cut off was not his arm, but a pig's foot. At this time, it was Prince Li Ming's turn to twitch slightly. He was a vicious and narrow-minded person, and he just couldn't bear to see other people calm. He just wanted to see other people scared, terrified, and hateful. It was best if they screamed and cried. He didn't expect that an ant-like person like Zhao Mu could be so calm. His heart was filled with viciousness, and he said, "Since you're so generous, I'll fulfill your wish and cut off your right leg." "Oh, that's fine," Zhao Mu said, and walked directly to the table. He raised his right leg and put it on the table, and then folded his arm over his leg and said, "I'll save you time. Cut it off in one go, so you don't have to waste energy." Prince Li Ming was furious. His face twisted, and then he raised his sword and slashed down. At this time, suddenly, there was a loud bang in the world of darkness. Then the earth shook, and Prince Li Ming was almost sent flying. He immediately used his qi to stabilize himself on the spot. Zhao Mu's body was directly thrown out and smashed into the wall, and he spat out blood. Then, all the light in the Skirich imperial capital was completely extinguished. Then, all the light in the Empire of Darkness was extinguished. All the energy was stagnant. The Skirich imperial capital stopped rotating once again. Where did the energy of the Empire of Darkness come from? In fact, the entire Empire of Darkness was like a huge generator. The Skirich imperial capital was a huge rotating shaft, and the countless dark castles were equivalent to electromagnets. The countless dark matter was like a coil. As the Skirich imperial capital continued to rotate, there was an endless amount of energy that maintained the operation of the Empire of Darkness. However, this energy was not only lightning energy, but also many other energy attributes. Of course, these energies did not appear out of thin air. They were all converted from the basic energy of the few continents. Even the rotation of the Skirich imperial capital relied on the repulsion of the energy of the few continents. The refraction material at the core of the demon domain was indestructible and completely indestructible. Moreover, it was the best energy conductor. Therefore, it was the core of the Skirich imperial capital's rotating shaft. Once that place was destroyed, the entire Empire of Darkness would be like the most powerful machine being destroyed at its weakest point. The entire huge machine would stop operating. Seeing this scene, Prince Li Ming was shocked. Could it be that what Yang Dingtian said was true? Could it be that he was the one who did all of this? Impossible, absolutely impossible. Soon, this terrifying situation stopped, and the Skirich imperial capital resumed its rotation. The entire Empire of Darkness regained its energy supply. Prince Li Ming's back was covered in cold sweat. He had almost been blackmailed by Yang Dingtian. As expected, there was an error in the operation. Perhaps it was because the two great apocalyptic wars had overdrawn the continents too much. In any case, it was definitely not Yang Dingtian's doing. It was completely impossible for a mere half-saint like him to destroy the Empire of Darkness. Boom! At this moment, there was suddenly another loud bang. The Skirich imperial capital stopped rotating again. All the light was extinguished again. The energy of the entire Empire of Darkness was interrupted again. Before Prince Li Ming had time to be shocked, the Skirich imperial capital resumed its rotation, and all the energy was restored. But at this moment, Prince Li Ming had no time to be happy. The reason for that was because the entire Skyspan imperial capital was constantly spinning and stopping. The energy of the entire Empire of Darkness was constantly being restored and interrupted. Restore, interrupt, restore, interrupt. All of a sudden. Rumble. The dark castle in the distance finally could not withstand the impact of this intermittent and powerful energy. Finally, there was a loud bang. In an instant, it exploded violently. The dark castle, which was tens of thousands of meters in diameter, exploded in the air like a city. However, this was only the beginning. Boom, 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 boom. The explosion of the first dark castle seemed to have knocked over a domino. Next, one after another, The dark castles kept exploding. And Prince Li Ming watched all of this with his own eyes. Then, the Skirich imperial capital also emitted a terrifying loud noise. The entire Empire of Darkness was in imminent danger. Chapter 1031. At this moment, the Castle of Darkness outside was constantly exploding. The entire Empire of Darkness was on the verge of collapse. The Skirich imperial capital was also emitting loud noises and tremors. Those who stayed inside felt as if the end of the world had arrived. Now, Prince Li Ming was completely certain that this was Yang Dingtian's doing. Yang Dingtian wasn't lying. He really could destroy the Empire of Darkness. Thinking of this, Prince Li Ming even felt a sense of suffocation. How could it be? The Empire of Darkness was so powerful that even the people of Naga had to flee. How could Yang Dingtian, a mere half-saint, destroy the Empire of Darkness? But reality had just happened. Prince Li Ming was really jealous. Could it be that Yang Dingtian was really the legendary son of destiny? Was he really the nemesis of evil ways? Otherwise, how could such a ridiculous thing have happened? He could actually destroy the Empire of Darkness. As if knowing that Prince Li Ming believed it, everything in the Empire of Darkness was completely restored. The terrifying explosions and the tremors of the Skirich imperial capital finally stopped. The entire Empire of Darkness returned to normal. However, at least dozens of dark castles had been destroyed. Prince Li Ming glanced at Zhao Mu. Now, cutting off Zhao Mu's arm to threaten Yang Dingtian was ridiculous. He used the Empire of Darkness to threaten him. How could he threaten him with an arm? He couldn't afford to lose face. Yang Dingtian had already played his card. It was a card that couldn't be any bigger. The biggest card in Do Diju was a bomb. Then, the card that Yang Dingtian played now was a nuclear bomb. Prince Li Ming thought of Yang Dingtian's conditions. Unconditionally release Zhu Hongxue, Chou Yiming, Zhao Mu, and all the other captives of the Council of Light. Of course, there was no doubt about this. It had to be released. Furthermore, the so-called Operation Viper had to be stopped. He didn't even want the other party to mention it. You go kill and capture a few of them, and Yang Dingtian will come and destroy your nest. Even if he wanted to humiliate himself, this was not the way to do it. In addition, Yang Dingtian also proposed to hand over Vulture and Wolingzi unconditionally. This was completely unacceptable. Vulture's greatest use seemed to be in the First and Second Armageddon Wars. However, the Queen Devil Queen had said that Vulture would be of great use in the future. Even Prince Li Ming didn't know what this great use was. However, since it was said to be of great use, it must be very important. As for Wolingzi, he had the Netherworld Ghost Flame and a second-grade evil spirit. Of course, he had become very powerful. Moreover, because it was not a first-class evil spirit, it could not be suppressed. However, this was not a big deal. Because Wolingzi's life and death were always in the hands of the Dishibian. The key was Vulture. Yang Dingtian would definitely propose to hand her over. Regarding this, Prince Li Ming had no choice but to look for the Queen Devil Queen. No, Vulture can't be handed over, the Queen Devil Queen said directly. Prince Li Ming said, but if we don't hand it over, Yang Dingtian will threaten to destroy the entire Empire of Darkness. The Queen Devil Queen said, what happens after he destroys it? All the evil martial artists will have no protection. Everyone will completely fall out. We will kill the entire Council of Light, and Yang Dingtian will also kill us. We can ignore the lives of those evil martial artists, but does Yang Dingtian not care? As soon as these words came out, Prince Li Ming nodded heavily. That's right, Yang Dingtian had the ability to destroy the Empire of Darkness. But this bargaining chip could only be used to intimidate. Once the Empire of Darkness was destroyed, it would be extremely disadvantageous for the Council of Light. For the evil ways, at most, they would lose all their claws and teeth, and a few powerhouses at the half-saint level and above would become generals without an army. A few hours later, the Council of Light and the evil ways once again met in the same place. However, at this time, Prince Li Ming's arrogant and mocking expression had disappeared. Of course, his anger and jealousy were also gone. The moment he saw Yang Dingan, he laughed and said, "Sect Master Yang Dingan, I really admire you." Well said, Yang Dingtian said. Prince Li Ming said, "May I ask how you did it?" Yang Dingtian said, "Even if I tell you, you won't understand. Of course, you won't be able to do anything unless you tear down the entire Skirich Empire." Prince Li Ming said as if joking, "Of course, there's another way, which is to kill or capture you." Yang Dingtian said, "I'm afraid I can't do that. In front of my Naga royalty sword spirit, I'm afraid no one can stop it." Prince Li Ming said, "Then I'm curious, how long can your Naga royalty sword spirit last?" Yang Dingan said, "Anyway, it'll be a very, very long time." Prince Li Ming said, "Okay, let's not bicker. Let's get down to business." Yang Dingan said, "Please." Prince Li Ming said, "I'm willing to release Zhu Hongxue, Chou Yiming, Zhao Mu, and all the other Council of Light prisoners. I'll also stop Operation Viper and stop hunting and capturing the Council of Light. You and I will return to our original tacit understanding. In exchange, you have to release Dongli and all the other evil spirit prisoners." As soon as he finished speaking, Yang Dingan laughed and said, "Your Excellency Li Ming, are you joking?" Prince Li Ming said, "What's wrong? I think my conditions are very fair. 3 important hostages in exchange for Dongli. Then, all the light hostages in exchange for all your evil spirit hostages. I'll stop Operation Viper in exchange for you stopping your revenge on the Empire of Darkness. I'm not going to bicker with you." Yang Dingan said, "I'll state my conditions. You unconditionally release Zhu Hongxue, Chou Yiming, Zhao Mu, and all the other Council of Light prisoners. You also unconditionally hand over Vulture and Willingzi. As for Operation Viper, I don't even need to say anything." "Then what do you have to pay?" Prince Li Ming asked. Yang Dingtan said, "Stop your revenge on the Empire of Darkness and stop destroying the Empire of Darkness." Prince Li Ming's face twitched. "Yang Dingtan, you're really asking for too much." Yang Dingtian said, "I can't help it. Who asked me to have such a big card in my hand?" Li Ming sneered and said, "It's true that you have a big card in your hand, but don't forget that this is a card that can't be played. Once it's played, not only will it hurt us, but it will also hurt you." He was right. Destroying the Empire of Darkness was like a nuclear bomb. After it was used up, it would be useless. Prince Li Ming said, "Okay, even if you destroy the entire Empire of Darkness and we evil ways lose all our nests, so what? Can't we just occupy an island and use it as a new base?" Yang Dingtian said, "Now the sky, sea, and land of the entire human countries are under my control. Evil ways can't find a place to hide unless you build the Temple of Annihilation in the Underworld Empire." Yang Dingtian wasn't bragging. After evil ways lost the Empire of Darkness, no matter where they built a new base, it would definitely be destroyed in a few days. Prince Li Ming said, "Okay, then we'll build the base in the Underworld Empire." Yang Dingtian said, "Then I'll bring lightning to the Underworld Empire and destroy all the undead in the Underworld Empire." Haha. Prince Li Ming was so angry that he laughed and said, "Can you do it?" "Yes, but the price is high and it takes a long time." Yang Dingtian said, "As long as the undead and Shura of the Underworld Empire can't come out, I don't have to find trouble with them for the time being. But that doesn't mean that I can't do it." Then Yang Dingtian said, "I promise that if necessary, I'll create thousands of lightning weapons and enter the Underworld Empire to completely destroy the entire Underworld plane." Prince Li Ming fell silent. Then he slowly said, "Okay, even if you don't let us have any place to hide, then we'll completely tear off all pretenses. Thousands of us evil spirit warriors will carry out the craziest hunt against your radiant parliament. When the time comes, let's see if more of your subordinates will die, or if more of us will die. Our people have evil energy, so they won't die. At most, they'll be captured." Then, Prince Li Ming said with a cold face, "And to say the most ruthless thing, I don't care about the life and death of those evil warriors. You're different. You're hypocritical. You care about the life and death of those people in the Council of Light." Yang Dingan said, Well said, but I have a question. Please speak, Prince Li Ming said. If I destroy the Empire of Darkness, how will you explain it to the Demon King Wenyan? Yang Dingtian said slowly. Suddenly, Prince Li Ming's face twitched. Yes, destroying the Empire of Darkness and letting the evil ways and the Council of Light fight to the death would cause the Council of Light to be at a disadvantage. But the Demon King Wenyan was currently surrounded by the Chaos Emperor armor. In the future, whether he wanted to possess Yang Dingtian or leave the Chaos Emperor armor, he would need the Empire of Darkness's refining array and fusion array. And even without these, the Empire of Darkness's Throne of Darkness had always been the Demon King Wentian's greatest treasure. After hesitating and struggling for a long time, Prince Li Ming looked at the Devil Queen. In the end, he said slowly to Yang Dingan, I still have the same condition. I'll stop Viper's operation and release all the hostages in exchange for the hostages in your hands. Also, I'll stop the destruction of the Empire of Darkness. It's impossible for me to do anything more. If you have the ability, destroy the Empire of Darkness. Let's fight to the death. With that, Prince Li Ming turned and left. This person was indeed domineering. He was determined to step on Yang Dingtian's weak spot and bite off the biggest chunk of flesh. He was betting that Yang Dingtian could not bear the consequences of destroying the Empire of Darkness. Therefore, he had to use the lowest price to exchange for the biggest chip. Prince Li Ming had just left. Yang Dingan said, Violets, return to Cloud Sky City. Nair, use the Demon Spirit Mist Cloak Flash technique and go to the Empire of Darkness as soon as possible. While the Devil Queen and Li Ming have not returned to the Empire of Darkness, we will attack the Empire of Darkness and rescue Vulture and Willingzi. As soon as he said this, Violet's expression immediately changed. She did not expect Yang Dingtian to be so decisive and attack the Empire of Darkness. Chapter 1032. Yang Dingtian was taking advantage of the time difference. This place was more than 5,000 miles away from the Empire of Darkness. It would take more than 2 hours for the Devil Queen and the other two to return to the Empire of Darkness. And it was more than 5,000 miles away from the center of the demon domain. Yang Dingtian desperately used the demonic spirit Foggy Cloak Flash and reached the center of the demon domain in less than 2 hours. He had about an hour, so it was more or less enough to attack the Empire of Darkness and rescue the people of the Vulture and the Council of Light. But there was a prerequisite for all of this. Willingzi was willing to cooperate. In order to protect Cloud Sky City, only Naru could enter the Empire of Darkness alone. Willingzi was also a saint-level expert. If he did not cooperate, not only would Naru not be able to rescue them, but she would also be trapped. Yang Dingtian completely ignored the consumption of his celestial chi and desperately used the demonic spirit Foggy Cloak Flash. He kept flashing and flying, flashing and flying. In less than 2 hours, he once again arrived at the center of the demon domain's vortex. He quickly flashed to the end of the vortex cave and once again arrived in front of the deflector. Then he immediately used the dark mystic flame to form a black hole vortex and create an isolated space. He directly forced it into the deflector, the shaft conductor of the Skirich Imperial Capital. In an instant, rumble. The entire Skirich Imperial Capital stopped spinning once again. All the energy arrays had lost their effectiveness. All the light was extinguished. All the evil spirit martial artists were once again in a state of panic. Mudan, the temporary controller of the Throne of Darkness, suddenly lost all her power. The Skirich Imperial Capital could no longer launch any attacks. Originally, Wu Lingzi had been trapped within the energy prison. But at this moment, the shackles were released. This was already many times, but he did not leave because he did not know that the Devil Queen and Dishibian had already left. He did not even dare to imagine that this was an attack by Yang Dingtian. He also thought that this was a normal malfunction of the Empire of Darkness's Skirich Imperial Capital. Princess Mudan, even on the Throne of Darkness, was still staring at Vulture. At this moment, Vulture's mystic meridians were completely sealed. Under the Throne of Darkness, Princess Mudan could kill her at any time. the entire Skirich palace suddenly dimmed. Princess Mudan's pupils constricted, and she was immediately filled with vigilance. "You seem very nervous," Spirit Vulture said with a smile. Princess Mudan ignored him. Spiritual Vulture said, "If I'm not mistaken, this should be our husband attacking the Darkness Empire." Use Mystic Flame Mystic Flame 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 Mystic Meridians Flame Mystic Flame 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 Mystic. Princess Peony said coldly, "I know what you are thinking, but don't think that he will come and save you. If anyone rushes into the Celestial Palace, I will kill them immediately. You won't have a chance." Vulture's heart trembled, but she still sneered, unwilling to admit defeat. All the evil martial artists instantly fell into a panic, waiting for the Skirich imperial capital to recover once again. Actually, none of the evil spirit martial artists knew what was going on. Most of them thought that this was a malfunction of the Empire of Darkness. A small number of them thought that this was Yang Dingtian's counterattack. However, in their hearts, the former reason was more terrifying. Because if it was a malfunction of the Empire of Darkness, evil ways would be completely helpless. At this moment, Nehru had already taken the eye of the primeval Naga and rode on Yang Dingtian's soul sword to melt the dark matter and fly into the Empire of Darkness. Even the thinnest part of the dark matter was more than a few thousand miles thick. It would be too late to directly lift the eye with one's hand. And the speed of Yang Dingtian's soul sword was extremely fast. Not long after, the soul sword carried Nehru through a few thousand miles of dark matter and directly rushed into the Empire of Darkness. At this moment, the Empire of Darkness was completely dark, and all the energy had stopped. If it was before, any intruder would be discovered immediately if they entered the Empire of Darkness. But now, a soul sword and a saint-level expert had entered the Empire of Darkness without anyone noticing. And Nehru discovered that after the Skirich imperial capital stopped spinning, the dark matter had already begun to spread and become thicker. To think that things would turn out like this. If the Skirich imperial capital were to completely stop moving, the dark matter would probably completely engulf the entire space of the Darkness Empire. However, there was no time to think too much. Nehru followed the blueprint of the Skirich imperial capital's structure and controlled the soul sword to fly toward the Skirich imperial capital's Skirich palace. The soul sword was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it arrived at the Skirich palace. Nehru immediately left the soul sword. And Yang Dingtian immediately removed the isolated space inside the folding object. Instantly, the entire Skirich imperial capital regained its energy. The Skirich palace, which had been dark for nearly 15 minutes, suddenly lit up again. Princess Mudan immediately felt relieved. She immediately wanted to enter the Skirich imperial capital's energy field to monitor and control the entire Empire of Darkness. But then, Yang Dingtian once again forced the isolated space into the folding object. Boom! There was a loud bang. Instantly, the Skirich imperial capital stopped spinning again. Princess Mudan was furious. Then, a terrifying scene appeared once again. The Skirich imperial capital spun intermittently, and then stopped for an instant. The entire Empire of Darkness couldn't withstand such a buffer of energy. Many dark castles were once again shattered and began to explode. And the Skirich imperial capital let out a terrifying sound as if it would burst open at any moment. And at this moment, whoosh 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 whoosh, 10,000 swords return. Thousands of miles away, Yang Dingtian used his consciousness to directly unleash the 10,000 swords return and shot towards the evil spirit figure in the Skirich palace. He was very grateful for the special aura of the evil spirit energy. Otherwise, Yang Dingtian wouldn't have been able to identify who Princess Mudan was based on the soul sword. It was even faster than lightning. From the moment the sword's soul attacked to the moment it directly pierced into Princess Mudan's body, it took less than 0.01 seconds. And Princess Mudan, who was being tortured intermittently by the Skirich imperial capital, was completely defenseless. The saint-level Naga royalty sword's soul directly shattered her body. Even though Princess Mudan's body belonged to Dongfang Bingling and was Yang Dingtian's lover. But at this moment, Yang Dingtian had no other choice. As Princess Peony's body was crushed, lightning flew into the Skirich imperial capital. She used her fastest speed to snatch Vulture out of the Skirich imperial capital. As for the shattered Vulture, the evil spirit energy in her body instinctively healed her body. She didn't have time to kill Vulture. After Naru rescued Vulture, she didn't stop and flew out of the Skirich imperial capital as fast as she could. After flying out of the Skirich palace, Vulture said excitedly, Were you sent by my husband?" "Yes," Naru said. Vulture was overjoyed. Then it shouted, "Daddy, Daddy." Wolingzi heard Vulture's voice from the energy prison and immediately rushed out of the Skirich imperial capital. Naru said, "Do you know where the captured Zhu Hongxue, Cho Yiming, Zhao Mu, and the others are being held?" Vulture and Wolingzi shook their heads. Vulture said, "However, the Skirich imperial capital has lost all its energy. All the energy is in the energy prison. If we shout, Zhu Hongxue and the others will take the initiative to respond." Immediately, Nair shouted, "Zhu Hongxue, Cho Yiming, Zhao Mu, and all the martial artists of the Council of Light, where are you? Please speak." Although Naru's voice sounded elegant and moving, it could penetrate thousands of miles. Obviously, all the captives of the Council of Light would hear it. However, it was a pity that there was no response. Obviously, besides the energy prison, there was also a physical prison. Moreover, everyone's mystic meridians were sealed, so they couldn't respond. Right at this time, Princess Peony's voice suddenly resounded in every place. "All evil spirit warriors, go and kill the captives of the Council of Light." With that, she took the lead and flew toward a certain place. The thousands of evil spirit martial artists were like shooting stars as they flew towards a certain direction. Wolingzi rushed forward and instantly blocked in front of Princess Mudan and the thousands of evil spirit warriors. "Wolingzi, are you courting death? You have to know that your life and death are in our hands," Princess Mudan said coldly. "So what?" Wolingzi said. "As long as my life and death are not in your hands now, it's fine." Princess Mudan ordered. Immediately, thousands of evil spirit warriors flew toward Wolingzi. Whoosh 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 whoosh. In an instant, Wolingzi quickly made clones. It became 2, it became 4, it became 8, it became many, many. Then, he crazily killed the evil spirit warriors. Even though he had many clones, none of the evil spirit warriors were his match. Everyone was smashed into pieces and turned into evil spirit energy. 10,000 swords return. Yang Dingtian's countless Naga royalty soul swords shot out. In an instant, it was as if the autumn wind had swept up fallen leaves. Countless evil spirit warriors were instantly smashed into pieces. Then, the near-emperor grade soul swords flew directly to a huge door in the Skirich imperial capital. Swish, 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 swish. The soul swords crazily slashed at the thick door. What the hell was this Skirich imperial capital made of? It was actually so sturdy. Thousands of swords slashed out like lightning, but they were unable to penetrate this huge door. Naru quickly rushed forward and suddenly blasted out a ball of astonishing flame. Under the efforts of a saint-level expert and a near-emperor grade soul sword. Finally, a huge hole was cut open in the thick door of the Skirich imperial capital. Naru quickly entered the huge hole. Inside, there were indeed a few prison rooms. Zhu Hongxue, Cho Yiming, Zhao Mu, and the others were imprisoned. However, all the captives' mystic meridians were suppressed. They were completely unable to move or make a sound. Naru was immediately worried. How was she going to bring these dozens of captives out of the Empire of Darkness? At this moment, the Devil Queen, Prince Li Ming, and the others were about to rush to the Empire of Darkness. Suddenly, Prince Li Ming's expression changed as he said in shock, "Not good, not good. Yang Dingtan will attack the Empire of Darkness." The Devil Queen's expression changed abruptly. She immediately summoned her wand soul sword and shot out. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.